Welcome, my friends and enemies. Glad you are here. We have hopefully a fun, a fun recording for you guys. But I'll leave that up to you in terms of whether or not you deem it to be actually fun. We're going to be doing the Xbox Games Showcase for 2024, and I mean I've seen them, but I am curious to see what anybody who hasn't seen them says, their thoughts. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Sage has seen them, so that'll be interesting. Fresh pair of eyes, ears, and possibly vomit, depending on how you look at it. But yeah,
I
so
should hope it's the last one because
you never know. It's just another day that ends in Y.
But I prefer to not have that experience, let's say.
Well, I hope you have your rubbish bin, as you guys would probably call it over there.
And, well, no, we're not English.
Rubbish. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into these and go through, and we're going to try to hit up all of them. There's like 30 trailers, so we'll just knock them out. We'll skip the ones that are obviously just advertisements for Xbox because we don't care. Like their new Series X and S and stuff that's literally pointless, but whatever. Let me pull this up, and here we go. Xbox. Bam. And that's it for that. Thoughts? I have my own, but I want to hear yours first.
Yeah, okay. My first thought is, what the fuck is this name? E-Day?
Emergence Day. That's what it stands for. It's like D-Day. D-Day for World War II.
Yeah, but E-Day just sounds stupid.
I think they should call it Years of War.
The orcs or whatever. Seems fun, I guess.
Those are locusts.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can tell you didn't grow up playing this franchise. So essentially, what is E-Day? They could have called it Gears of War Emergence. That would have been better. But probably. I think E-Day was probably a play on words. For
yeah, I can see that.
Probably the obvious, but yeah. So I liked it. I mean, the visuals are great. It is a prequel,
but then again, it's a cinematic.
That's what the game looks like.
Oh,
Yes, like I've played all. I started in the first one, the second one, the third one. There were up to 5. Now this is probably the 6th or whatever, or however many they're at now. Um, the quality of the game graphics is that good. Now it's probably better since it's the newest, with probably the newest use of the Unreal Engine, because they're used. Gears of War was like the poster child for the Unreal Engine. It and Unreal Tournament. You remember that one? Back with Quake.
Quake, yeah, I vaguely remember that.
So Quake and Unreal Tournament were both like arena shooter kind of things, and you had like teams and stuff like that. But they were both like the originals when it came to, multiplayer bloodfests, if you will.
Mhm.
And I believe it was Unreal and or when Unreal Engine 3, possibly maybe earlier, came out. They did Unreal Tournament 3, and they used like the main character is basically designed as Marcus Phoenix, who's the main guy there. And since you don't know the backstory, the guy who catches him, because remember this is a prequel, the guy who catches him
Yeah,
is Dom, and is his best
sure.
buddy.
Is that the
And
other guy?
huh,
Is that the other guy we saw?
yes, the guy who caught him and pulled him up. So Marcus is the one who was fighting the entire time, then fell, and then Dom's the one who pulled him up. They're best buds, but there's a bit of a tragic story in that going on, which anybody who's played Gears of War would be familiar with, and kind of pulls at your heartstrings because of the tragedy going on. But um, all in all, I liked it. The atmosphere, the ambience, all that stuff felt like a Gears of War. Visually, it looked good. I mean, looks pretty typical. I wouldn't say it's like super hyper realistic per se on the part of the Locust who when he got his head blown off, because it looks like typical textures, what you'd expect from well, I don't even know what year it would be considered, but like the entire series of Gears of War has basically had the same one. And yeah, it seemed more or less normal to me for a Gears of War type of game. I didn't see anything to complain about it. I don't know the whole story. I don't know what they're planning on doing with it. It's basically so. I'll give a rundown of the plot. Is essentially there's these creatures called locusts, and they come from the earth to the surface, and in the process of
So
coming,
that's why he fell into a hole.
yeah, they're basically cause sinkholes to pour their armies. That's why, like, if you saw the last image, it was showing like these spider thingies crawling out onto buildings.
Yeah.
Those are some of their monsters they use to like take down buildings and stuff. And in the series, at least the first 3, I can definitely vouch for. They're really fun. Sometimes you can ride them. Sometimes you can use them to smack other things. But one of the cool things is in their multiplayer, you can play the Horde side, Locust Horde, or you can play the quote unquote Alliance side, um, the Gears side.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the locusts come up. You find out they're basically like a scientific experiment gone wrong, and then over time they bred in the dark, and now they're coming up to the surface, and the world government is basically trying to fend them off with cogs, which are soldiers, and those soldiers who you play as Marcus Phoenix in the first 3. But there's other characters. Coltrane comes into the picture, obviously Dom, Baird, and a bunch of characters. And then they added some newer ones, and I think it was 4 or 5, possibly both. I don't remember which one they're up to. But essentially, yeah, they added new characters. People were questioning one of the newer ones. This is 4 or 5. I don't remember which one. They were questioning it as kind of a little bit woke, because they made like one of them 4 or 5 made a female main character. I think it was 5, and people were like, like they have females, so it's not that big of a deal. But I think it was the way the story was actually being like run through is what made it questionable. So it is what it is, really, ultimately. But I think it was okay. I think I have it. I don't think I played it very much. I think I played it a little bit, but basically it's like Marcus Phoenix's son was kind of like the main driver, but he's not like the main character, or maybe that's 4. I don't remember. I don't remember. That might have been 4, and then 5 was the girl, I think, and it was like from what I saw of it, I didn't get to play it. I stopped paying for Xbox Live, and if I was going to get it, I was getting it on like Steam or something. Because I mean, let's be real. Why would I pay $60, $70, $80 a year to play what I can play already because I'm already paying for it? Like,
Yeah, excellent question.
that doesn't make sense to me, but they can milk you for money. Like, I don't mind maybe like the Nintendo Switch wasn't so bad because it was like $20 a year for one person, but you could get like a family pack and then pile all your friends and your family onto a single one, and it drops like a whole year down to like $8, something like that, per person. So it's just like, oh, this is, and that's with the expansion pack, which gets you the emulator for SNES, NES, Game Boy, Nintendo 64, plus the expansion pack and all that stuff. It got you, you know, extra stuff like that, and it's just like that's a pretty good value. I don't really play a whole lot, but when I do get with my friends and we play like the Pokemon or something else, we can play together via that. So it's like $8 a year. If we play a few times a year, at bare minimum, it still covers that cost. But $80 a year, and especially when I don't really have a whole lot of friends online to play those things on those systems, all my friends play PC because PC is superior.
Yeah, now I can.
I mean, it might be more expensive to some people, but there actually are. You can build a decent computer for the price of like a PS5. It's not impossible.
I'm not sure how expensive those are, so I'll take your word for it.
A PS5?
Yeah.
I want to say $500-$600. It's pretty typical, depending on if it's the newest one or the older models. But the older models usually get pushed to the back pretty quickly. Like when the Nintendo Switch came out, it was $350 to $400. And then when the OLED came out, it bumped that one down to like $300, and then the other OLED took its spot. But if you had a Switch and you got an OLED, but you had extra like Joy-Cons and stuff, you had to still go buy the OLED Joy-Cons because they were physically different sizes. So not great, but if it's an upgrade, it's an upgrade. And I think they still connected. It just didn't fit the side of the Switch. But I don't know. I think the OLED Switch controllers had a little bit of an upgrade or something. But then obviously Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox had the digital only versus the non-digital only, which had the disc drive in it. PlayStation had the same thing, but then they had an older model of the PS5, which is the really big, huge, looks like a mini fridge one. And then they had the one I got, which is the slim. And it also increased the storage capacity. So from like 850 gigabytes to a 1 terabyte. Not a huge thing. It dropped probably about 25% the size, though, and height, and also in everything else. I also think it doesn't have nearly as many overheating issues, because I've played for hours on it and never had overheating issues, and other people who have older ones did have some. But yeah, I mean, I got the disc version because obviously I'm not insane, but they can get pricey. Like if you're buying used, you're probably still paying $400-$450 for, just a used one. But if you're buying brand new, and typically I recommend buying brand new if you're trying to, like, if you want to get your best money out of it, and if it's your first time, like just put some money down, get it, go for it. Unless you don't feel comfortable with that and you're not sure, go get a used, whatever. I mean, buy what you want to buy. I typically buy my electronics brand new because I want to know what condition they're in. Unless I buy them from a reputable source, like a local game store that I'm friends with, like game owner, the shop owner, or whatever, which I am here where I live. And I know that if anything goes wrong with it, I take it in and he'll take care of me. Like I got no beef buying used from him because he doesn't have new like ever because they're not really anywhere. Good luck finding one. But for $600, like that, this is my whole argument with the Steam Deck, was that for the price of the best Steam Deck, you can get a PlayStation 5 or something. But you can get your entire Steam library. If you already have one, you instantly have all your games. If you have a PlayStation 5 and you never bought one before, you got to go buy all the games or use some PlayStation 4 games if you have some. And I only had a couple, so I have like a total of maybe 8 games, and a couple of them are still in packaging because I just got them for a really cheap deal and I haven't even like looked at them. But like that whole cost and everything to get all the games or to buy additional controllers, like I can just use Xbox One controllers for my computer and they work perfectly fine. I can use my PlayStation 5 controller or Nintendo Switch Pro controller on my Switch or on my Steam Deck or my Switch or whatever. Well, at least the Switch, only the Switch Pro because the other ones won't connect. But at least I don't think they will. But for my Steam Deck, I can use any controller I got, essentially, even third party, and I can connect them, play them no problem, whatever. And I don't have to buy extra additional accessories and stuff. It has a dock, which is like $80, so you pay a little bit more. But that dock lets you play it on a big screen TV, and it's also highly portable because it's this size. I mean, it's not the strongest, but for portability, it is the strongest as far as I can find. It's great. The only downside with any of those types of things like this, the Switch or the Steam Deck, is you got to have internet connection for a lot of the games to like connect to online stuff. But if you're playing offline stuff, doesn't matter. It's gonna be the same either way. The Steam Deck does allow you to put on things like a Windows operating system or something else. You can put a standalone Linux because it is kind of Linux because it's a Steam OS. But there's like a lot of things you can do. But ultimately, you can go buy a Steam Deck for the same price as a PS5, play on a handheld, where the handheld for the PS5, like I have my Steam Deck hooked up to my PS5, so I can play my PlayStation wherever I am as long as I have internet connection. Same as the PlayStation 5 thing that costs $250, and all it does is PlayStation 5. So mine will do all my stuff. I put like my what are they called? I'm just brain farting today for some reason. Like I could put old Game Boy games, GameCube games, and all that stuff on there. What are they called? Emulators. I have emulators on there. I can play my games that I have physically at home, take them with me digitally, and they're in my Steam library. And I just push the button, ta-da! I can play. Another reason to get PC, emulation, stupid crazy, and you can just add that like the EMU deck, which is what they use for the Steam Deck most of the time, which utilizes all the other emulation systems and whatnot. But they have a desktop version of it now, so anybody can just do it on their home computer as well. And guess what? You have access to your stuff on your computer. So if your computer is really, really high end, if you like play really, really top tier stuff, you can run that stuff, no problem. If you run low end stuff, it can still run pretty easily. You may or may not get stuttering on a lower tier PC, but it's still doable. And a lot of the stuff from like GameCube and 64 probably run seamlessly on it because it's really easy. I think the Wii stuff, it got a little bit more heavy duty stuff, but point being,
it's also a bit more finicky with the remotes.
Well, yeah, but they did have some stuff that you could work with it, and it does have the motion sensor stuff on the Steam Deck. But you could I believe there's third-party controllers you could use that give you the same thing as like a Wii U stick. But again, nobody really plays Wii Switch because they got Switch and everything before Wii, so it's whatever. But for the value price, it's not that difficult to get into PCs. You could build a PC yourself if you had the knowledge for $600 easy. You won't necessarily have the greatest PC, but that's something that like every time a console comes out, if you just went and like spent the money you'd buy on that console on just the graphics card, you would update your computer by miles, and it'd be able to play some top tier stuff. I mean,
you also need to make sure the processor is up to date.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the expensive part, the most expensive parts used with the graphics card, processor.
Yeah, fair.
But if you got both of those together, you're still paying less than probably a PlayStation 5 or I guess PlayStation 6. I guess is coming out already in like a couple years. But yeah, that point being is that the stuff I'd rather play Gears of War on my PC, and I would be on Xbox because Xbox I can play the game on my Xbox. Well, I'd have to get an Xbox Series X, but I probably will get an Xbox Series X eventually because the backwards compatibility. Because full backwards compatibility is valuable. I wouldn't say I'd play it for online though, but if I wanted to play online, I'd do it on PC because it's so much cheaper. I mean, $80 a year. That alone, the $80 a year or 60, I think it's $60, but I think they kept bumping it up. So it's 60, $80. And that per year, after so many years, you've already spent enough to buy pieces for your PC. So it's like whatever. Like my local game shop, they build PCs. So you can be like, hey, I want this PC, I want this, or I want this, or they'll just be like, hey, I have a prefab built for you already. Just take it and go. But point
That's
being,
very convenient.
it's a lot cheaper than you think it is. You could buy probably one for 400 or 600. I talked to him and was like, hey, just sell something about the same price as like a PlayStation or an Xbox, and you can get people into computers. I don't know how much it'll do him besides selling computers because I mean computer games aren't physical anymore. I mean they are, but you have to go back and find all the old stuff. And until they come up with software that allows you to play the old stuff, like they just need to make a software thing, like a virtual machine essentially. That's just a blanket one that you can just know. I push play on my computer, and it's going to automatically launch a virtual machine window and everything. Basically, do it automatically so the dumbest person on the planet can figure it out. PC gaming would come back with a fury. It would be fantastic. I know they have Game Ranger and other things like that, but it'd be just nice to have a constant source in that regard. So, all right, well, let's get on with our next video, trailer, whatever they're called. I didn't realize Stalker was exclusively Xbox. I thought it was just PC in general.
Скіфе, радий тебе бачити, друже. Валимо звідси.
You understand all this, right?
Yeah.
Ви тільки погляньте на це. Край, чарівний край черемоша й прута. Ти моя любов, ти рідна матінко моя. Жива.
Координати закинув. Поквапся.
That's the trailer.
Зараз час такий. Час можливостей.
That's the same guy who just bashed his head in.
Усі ці жертви. Усі ці смерті. Який в них сенс? Зона така, якою бачиш її ти. Я ж показав тобі, якою я її бачу. Іди своїм шляхом, і тоді ти зможеш побачити зону по-своєму.
I mean, I've always been interested in the Stalker series. I don't know if you've ever heard or played them.
Never played them. I have
They're
heard of it.
They're on Steam, and I've been eyeing them for a long time, but I've always had so much else to do. I've never even pulled the trigger of it. I might even have one or two of them in my library already, but it looks interesting. I think the guns are very good quality in terms of graphical quality. The scenery seems to be pretty good. It reminds me a lot of Metroid, or not Metroid, Metro.
Oh, Metro. Yeah. I was Metroid. No.
Yeah, I think it was. They both have Metro.
Yeah.
They both have Metro in it. It reminds me of Metro Exodus, all that kind of stuff, which I have played those ones, and I liked them. They just felt really slow.
True.
But yeah, I mean, this looks interesting. I don't know whose logical thinking it was. Is there's an anomaly floating in the air made of energy. Let's shoot it with bullets because that'll do something. Like, seems a bit strange to me. Like maybe call the Ghostbusters. Maybe call the Ghostbusters or something. I don't know. As for the monsters, that makes sense. But I did think it was funny because the guy who's like trying to get us with a knife is the same guy behind the counter telling us like, "Hey, we can make some money." I'm just like, didn't we just smack your head in, or is this like a time reversal where like we saw you at the camp and then they tried to kill you later on because you tried to like betray them, or you got away and joined an enemy faction group or something? I don't know. Like there could be a lot of different things. I have no idea what the storyline is for this. But yeah, it looks entertaining. I don't know if it's the greatest thing, but it looks pretty fun. It's not a crime against humanity. Let's put it that way. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I guess it looks fine.
I don't know how much you are in shooter games, so
I'm not that big into shooter games. I play a few every now and then. Halo,
probably Fortnite.
But yeah,
Halo's a good one.
not much of a shooter game player. Yeah.
Cool. Guess while I'm getting this next one, oh boy, this is gonna be one of those painful moments. Ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's go. Ooh, this one. Ah, fuck.
Now listen to the music because that should pop up what I mentioned previously.
Yeah, I'm not currently hearing anything.
I did it again. Dadgummit. I apologize. I did that to prevent any ads from exploding up on sound. So here we go.
Did your
I mean,
father
so far it looks fine.
my bones ache in the weather?
Oh no, there's a character right there. I don't like it anymore.
War. Their soldiers killed everyone.
I will point out.
I
will point out. She does not enunciate like a Japanese person.
Yeah, no, that's true.
She says her L's.
But also, it sounds wrong somehow.
Well, it does. It's like Americanized Japanese or whatever. But it's like instead of saying family, she'll say family. Like, I mean, if you're gonna at least give the presentation of Japanese, you should at least speak like a Japanese, even if the Japanese is saying something in English. But like, that's why I like Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is like in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can do it in English, but that means you're a loser in a beta. Yeah. But like, it sounds so much better because it's authentic.
True.
And it's just like, oh well, I want to do it for the sake of being able to actually hear something. And it's like I don't care. Like I read subtitles. If you're a video gamer and you're moving around on a screen like this and you're not paying attention to every single detail with your eyes and your hands and stuff, you don't have the hand-eye coordination to be playing the game to begin with. So subtitles ain't going to save you, or dubs aren't going to save you. But there are some things I'll point out that I have been made aware of after this. But yeah,
not fear our enemy. They talk of peace and dream of war.
Did they though?
Our people deserve to be freed of the oppressor's grasp.
Vengeance is a lonely path now. Believe me, there are other ways to heal.
Like ramming somebody with your body.
People so quick to abuse their power do not deserve to keep it.
There is much we will learn from each other, Yasuke.
I'm sorry, I don't think regardless of how big you are, I do not think you can stomp the ground and shake everyone's feet underneath them.
Well, maybe if you're a giant.
He's only like 6'6" or something
No,
like
no,
that.
I'm not saying he is, but if you were an actual giant.
I don't think Andre the Giant can do that unless it was in like a WWE ring, and that's because the ring bounces on purpose. But even then, it's not going to shake other people around him. I mean, there may not be people tall as him, but there'll be stocky samurai or stocky Ashigaru or something. They'll be stocky.
Yeah,
soldiers.
sure. I
They're
mean,
just not tall.
the Japanese are kind of famous for being not very big, let's say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can be big as in muscular and stuff, like
yeah, but not like in weight.
Well, I'm talking like what are they called? The
I mean, sure, there are a few. You
sumo.
likely won't find them in
Like
the
a
samurai.
sumo wrestler's
Nice.
big guy. They might not be tall. They might be taller than others, but they're usually just big. And it's just like no matter. I can't think of the heaviest person on the planet that just goes on the ground and everything shakes and knocks people off steady or whatever. And if that's the case, their form's trash because they shouldn't be getting knocked off or whatever.
You can see when two people fit, when they will be better together.
There is no honor in preying on the weak.
Together, we will bring justice back to the people.
No, she says to the people, not to our people.
Yeah, noticed.
Which is what a typical Japanese person would say to the people. I think. What? That's not how they would use words. So, several abominations. Yeah, nobody cares. Several abominations. So first off, Naue, the female Konichi Shinobi.
Yeah.
Naue is a boy's name.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a boy.
Well,
That's one thing.
we don't know.
You'd be talking, be like, well, she's gay anyway, so make her trans. She's a boy. Whatever. I don't know. 2, I don't know if you saw the cinematic where the little child stops and looks at Yasuke and all, or Yasuke, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, I'll say it this way. I don't know if you remember the trailer. The little girl's like, weird black dude, because, that would be kind of weird to see in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't recall that.
Okay. Well, it was like in the original reveal trailer that they had. And it's one of those things where Yasuke is walking around in battlefield armor.
Yeah. We're not in war, which is
Not
obvious.
what you'd be walking around in on a regular basis. 2, Yasuke, they've been giving him a like African Japanese style of talk. Like
Yeah, we heard that
talks
during
like
the
a person.
thing. I was like, is that?
That's not how he would talk at all. I don't know if he knew like a Japanese. They had a translator. But then on top of that, which is second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever we're on right now, he's wielding the writing utensils like he's Japanese. He has no training
maybe.
in a year.
Well, I don't know what the time period. Exactly.
He was only with Nobunaga for 1 year.
They've probably altered the timeline anyway.
I know, but I'm saying realistically, he would not be able to learn that in the same time period. Like learning the language alone would take most of that time, let alone trying to write it. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And the writing style and everything, he's flowing it in like flowy, written, well practiced script, not in like I've learned this in the last 5 years. He's like, I've learned this 20 years ago. Like none of it matches up in that regard. Naue, she's walking down the street with her sword hilt sticking out of her back, dressed in her shinobi clothes.
Yeah.
Which is not how you would do that. Shinobi being a job title, the shinobi would wander around in normal clothes. And it's funny because of like the Ubisoft people were talking about this and saying things like, you know, we have to show the two different worlds, shinobi and samurai. And I'm like, but samurai is a class, shinobi's a job.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be a samurai that's a shinobi.
Yep.
Like it would make sense. Even Ghost of Tsushima, you can do samurai, ronin, or shinobi style play. And it's just like, okay, well, if you don't even know what you can and can't do, why are you trying to do a video game about it? Don't get me wrong. A lot of it looks cool. Like going around, I love the period. I love all that kind of stuff. I love Assassin's Creed, the original ones prior to Origin. I just
So
why
that
did you have to go
like
up? Huh?
Syndicate and Unity?
Syndicate and Unity. It was Unity, then Syndicate, and then after Syndicate, I think it was Origin. Everyone's favorite seems to be Black Flag. I like Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
Sailing a ship was really fun. It did get a bit repetitive when you have to go from one place to another, one place to another, one place to another. But hey, I mean, getting to sail your own ship is pretty freaking cool. Since they're probably never going to do it in real life, so let alone one of those and shooting cannons to boot, possibly dying, get your throat cut by a pirate, or worse, the authorities. But it's just. I was so hyped when I heard about them doing Assassin's Creed in Japan.
Same.
I was like, oh, this could be really good. And then they're like,
yeah, you can't play as a Japanese person. That's a samurai.
well, you can't play as a Japanese man. You can play as a Japanese woman with a man's name. And they're both going to be gay, pansexual, bisexual, lesbian, whatever it might be. Like, I don't think that would happen in feudal Japan and be okay without like obviously
it's
super
hierarchy.
It's
not accepted though, so that's
whether it be well, I should say I don't think it'd be accepted. I guess is what I want to say. I'm sure, of course, that could happen anywhere, but I don't think it would be accepted in that culture because it's a very traditional, conservative type of culture. And even Oda Nobunaga's fascination with all the crazy stuff, like all the guns and cannons and exotic things, was not exactly widely accepted amongst all the other daimyos or clan leaders or the shogunate, I should say, and all that kind of stuff. But then obviously, like I had mentioned to you guys in the Discord, the hip hop Japanese music for Yasuke. And that's in-game music, by the way. That's not trailer music. That's in-game music. But he also has like the perfect. He has the perfect samurai stance when you play as him. When he wouldn't have any formal training, or if he did, it'd be like the beginners on terms of how to like fight that way. But because of his strength, he's not going to be a dexterous person. He's going to be he's going to be like strong as an ox kind of a person. He's not going to be like shooting 3 arrows at the same time and them all hitting bullseyes or something like that, or 3 different bullseyes or whatever. He's not going to be doing flying aerobatic stuff and all that, or acrobatic and all that kind of stuff. That's not what he's going to be doing with his size. His size is, I hammer you down, you can't stop me kind of a thing. So he's more like that of a barbarian, right? It's a barbarian. This Assassin's Creed Shadow is a barbarian and a rogue story. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. Or barbarian and thief, barbarian assassin, whatever you want to call it. but that's literally what it is. But the fact that he's walking around in this gear at all times is ridiculous. It is ridiculous because it wouldn't. One, he'd stand out like a sore thumb. She stands out like a sore thumb. I don't get it, but they had a cool concept. They just had to go ruin it because identity politics. And this is not the original story for this Assassin's Creed game specifically. Like, it originally was a different story and a different everything else. What they did is they took it and changed it because DEI, or as they say, modernized DIE. So they ruined something I would have been fully behind, which is so funny because I don't like Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a lot of words I'm not going to say, but Ubisoft being like, you just got to be, get used to the idea of not owning your games. And I'm like, well, then get used to the idea of me not buying your games. Like, there's other ways to play this game. So that's that. Let's see. I hope it doesn't do it to me. Why did it jump? It jumped a lot. What the?
Don't know.
For whatever reason, the showcase keeps jumping around. How are these gonna? Yeah, these aren't anywhere remotely in order now. That's stupid.
Did you put on shuffle?
Nope. It just automatically shuffled. Let me go back up. I'm gonna go until I don't see one I'm familiar with.
Who were you before? Who did you love? What did you believe?
Pay attention to the characters on this one.
What?
You'll see.
It's too late to ask now. We all knew the risks when we ventured out beyond the gates. But you helped us make something greater than the fear and death that surrounded us. We found hope in each other.
Help! I'm surrounded. They're everywhere. There's way more than I was expecting.
And even if we bought the other survivors just one more day, the sacrifice would be worth it. It would always be worth it. And that helped us find the courage to keep going, to fight on. When we needed it the most.
Okay. That guy's dead.
I didn't know you well.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
But we'll keep your memory alive. Every sacrifice we make matters and will never be forgotten. No one is forgotten. We live on.
All right. So fun fact about that series. So I have the first one. I think I was planning on getting the second one, but then they're like something the devs did. I'm trying to remember what it was. But the devs did something to piss off pretty much everybody when the second one came out. Because like they said something about, I think it was like you get a discount if you buy the first one, and whatever. And then the second one came out, and then like no, you have to buy the whole thing brand new. So everyone who bought the first one to get the first one and then a little bit off of the second one were like, what? I'm trying to remember if it was that exact scenario or if it was slightly different, because there's been a few developers that have done that kind of stuff. But if you notice the characters, so the out of the 4 survivors, the first one that dies, obviously, the white male.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the competent one, ironically.
Yeah.
And he had to save other people's lives because they were incompetent, which cost other people lives. Like, so picture the scenario. White guy looking guy is the one driving the car. He's pretty competent. He's driving a car. He has a car. He's killing guys as he drives by them. He's being moderately intelligent, right?
Yeah.
You've got the melee guy who's sneaking up, creeping on things, killing them. Seems to be legit.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Asian girl with the rifle, shooting a rifle at like point blank range for some reason, when the zombies aren't even moving that fast. But then instead of trying to leave the vicinity, she decides to climb on top of a vehicle where they could easily surround her. And then she just happens to have, thousands of rounds on her to where she can just just like starts going pop, 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 pop. I'm like, why do you need help? You're killing everything. You have unlimited ammo. What is wrong with you? Anybody who has unlimited ammo could, in that situation, kill everything in there within a mile. You have a scope as well, so you can kill them even further before they even get anywhere near you. What is your issue? What do you need help for? But then when she calls for help, she says, need help. Not like anybody, anywhere, somebody, help me. No, she's just like, need help. And it's like, how do you know? And how are they going to find you? Because you didn't give them any coordinates. You didn't give them anything to work with. And I get it's a trailer. They're not going to say anything crazy.
Yeah.
You can say, hey, I'm over by the state park, or I'm over by the public bathrooms, or whatever. Like, give the people who would be in the vicinity an area that they could go to. Doesn't do that. Really stupid. It looked like they were using somewhat in-game footage because her jerkiness on the top of the car was little. That was definitely not just cinematic.
Yeah. No, that's definitely in-game stuff. And
then obviously the black chick was not paying attention to her surroundings. She's a pretty good shot. Like, I won't say surprisingly. I mean, for her lack of awareness, she seemed like a good shot. Because usually one of those things is when you're a good shot, you have the awareness. So it's surprising that she didn't have the awareness while she was being a good shot. But I'm guessing she had to learn on the field. But if she learned in the field, she would have learned, pay attention to your surroundings, because you're not going to live very long if you do, or if you don't. And then
the other guy was around, so
of course, but cost him his life because he had to save her life because she didn't pay attention. So of course, the men having to pick up the women's slack because reasons. But the women survive, and the man doesn't. But the other man does up until the end, and we don't know if all of them survived. Any of them survived.
Very interesting that they get out of the car instead of just going backwards and finding a different route.
Or shooting the big guy in the head before he gets close.
Yeah, that could also work.
Did you notice the driver, the man, pulls out a melee weapon?
That's...
He pulled out like a machete type saw type thing. And I'm like, that ain't going to get you very far there, bucko. Like, you're really not going to get very far with that. But it's... There's just so many issues with it, but I'm probably not going to get it because the way the devs treated the people when they released the second one. And now it just looks like they're kind of being stupid about things. But I think there was also like on that board where they had like the little green dinosaur hanging from and all the names like you won't be forgotten. They had like the trans flag and stuff on there. So like
I did see a rainbow.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is not what happens in a zombie apocalypse. Like, in a zombie apocalypse, you're not like, oh, I'm sorry, I misgendered you. Or, oh, I'm sorry, I named the wrong pronoun for you. That's not what you're doing in a zombie apocalypse.
Mhm.
You don't care what people call you as long as they keep you alive. Like,
Well, no, I mean, you might.
yeah,
Yeah.
my name's not Bob, but you can call me Bob. Just keep me alive, buddy. That's all I care about. Heck, you can call me Sally. I don't even care. It's not my name either, but I don't care. As long as you keep me alive, I don't care what you call me, because at this moment in time, my emotional duress is not focused on people calling me the wrong name. It's focused on, oh my gosh, it's a zombie apocalypse. I want to stay alive. Like, normal human reaction would be. But again, normal these days is who knows what. You ready for the next one?
Yep. Dragon Age film cards. Oh, I heard some stuff about this one.
I don't know if have you played any of the Dragon Ages first?
Only Inquisition.
Okay. I played the first 2 or first 3. I don't even remember. It's like I played the first one in college, and that was a long time ago. But like, what a downgrade. And there's more information after this one, so we'll get to it. Already bad sign right there. Electronic Arts, BioWare.
Not looking good, old friend. This'll take more than you and me.
What are you thinking?
These are dwarves, by the way.
We need someone to be our eyes and ears in the shadows.
Really? Would have thought.
Well, they don't have the necessary height of it.
To the daylight.
We're going into the Fade, aren't we?
And digging up a lot of buried secrets.
What about Darkspawn?
Yeah. Someone who will stand between us and a pack of demons.
You know there will be dragons.
Right. We'll need someone with fire in their blood. One more thing. This crew needs a leader. Someone we can count on. Someone that the world can count on. But where are we gonna find her?
To create your own character.
I mean, that's normal.
Yeah, they're just making the character as ambiguous as possible because it's like, it can be a boy, it can be a girl. It's like, sure, go for it. That's the one good thing about this, is that it's to create your character. Now, couple things. Graphically, downgrade. Like, it looks cartoony. It looks like Fortnite, Dragon Age Fortnite. Is what it looks like even the purple at the end, it looks like freaking Dragon Age Fortnite. But like,
choice of song, not great. I'd say for Dragon Age.
Like, wasn't it? It was a modern song, wasn't it?
Probably.
It's just like, why couldn't you have your own original soundtrack song? Like, that would make it sound good. Like, it'd be like,
you'd have to have a good original soundtrack first, but
that's true. But I'm saying, like, if you announce Skyrim, you're like the Dragonborn comes or something.
Here you go.
Yeah, but you're like Silver King. It's just like you build it up and you're like, wow, I've heard this song, but it sounds epic. And you're like, I want to play this game because I want to hear the soundtrack. Because believe it or not, a lot of people do play games and pick games based off of their soundtrack.
Yeah, obviously.
If it looks fun but it has a trash soundtrack, it's going to take you out of the game. So do you want to put money and time and invest in that? But on top of that,
the character introductions were a bit awkward.
I don't know if you noticed, but like the hideous woman disease has struck again. They had a couple characters that were passable. The dwarf had a kind of a normal-ish, feminine-looking face.
A dwarf look,
but it was blocky.
That works for dwarves.
It does work for dwarves. They had the Asian veiled jumper person. She looked Asian, but she looked like not the greatest probably representation of Asian. Looked more like Aquafina. But and then you had
I can see that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just burned your vision in your eyes. But then you have like all these other characters that are just like the Mage Killer looked like a decent guy, but like because of the cartoony style, it looked more like Fable graphics than Dragon Age graphics.
Perhaps.
Which is kind of funny.
The Mage Killer also kind of looked gay. No offense, Vince, but
well, I hate to break this to you, but I was going to mention this anyway. But all the characters are pansexual. All
Lovely.
the companions, yeah, and they won't wait for you to romance them either. So you better do it as quickly as possible.
Damn, all of them.
All of them. Every single one of them. You can have a companion orgy to your heart's content with all the, well, body parts involved. So, it's definitely a letdown in that regard. I
might just stick to Inquisition then.
Well, I thought about the original ones because I actually bought the walkthrough guide for I think the original one. That might have been Inquisition. I don't know. I just bought it because it's like I don't see strategy guides like ever.
Inquisition is not the original one.
No. I'm saying it was either the original one or Inquisition.
Ah, okay.
It was one of them. I don't remember which one it is. It's over there with my giant pile of strategy guides. Because I like strategy guides for games I care about, or at least enjoyed at some point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's try this one.
Starfield.
Yes.
Isn't that already released though?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, maybe early access, I guess, but
no, it's not early access.
But it's basically early access, though, isn't it?
Call of unknown origin.
It's like they try to start out like Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
There is no record of a star station in this
That
orbit.
looks horrendous, by the way.
Something is not right.
Why are people in oxygenated suits, astronaut suits, floating around dead?
Why not?
Because isn't that the same thing you're wearing? So why aren't you dead?
Maybe they ran out of oxygen.
Coming aboard was a mistake. We need to run.
Maybe there's not normally oxygen in there, and then the gravity generator went off, so they started floating and then suffocated because they ran out of oxygen.
Hold very still and choose
Possibly.
your words carefully.
There wasn't monsters because their bodies aren't
They'll
damaged.
determine how long you live. You
That ghost.
from the home of House Maroon
Spiritual
fate
being of some
will
sort.
be decided by the great spirit.
It's like they implemented the
Can you
religious
feel
aspect of Dead
its
Space into
Circling your heart,
Space Skyrim.
constricting until there is no more
Oh, let's not call it Space Skyrim. That's
us.
Well, it's
inside
the
Skyrim.
with jackpots, mind you. That's what it is.
I'm from the Trackers Alliance. We have a proposal for you.
The ripping off Helldivers.
I wish you the best of luck.
So yeah, that's an expansion for the wonderfully critically acclaimed bestseller Starfield.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that one.
It kind of looked generic.
Yeah, it was very generic. Was not polished at all.
Lots of microtransactions I saw.
Well, that's
Well, maybe they're in-game viable. I don't know.
That's the creators club or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, that one.
Club or whatever. It's just Bethesda's way to take money from modders or utilize modders to make money and everything, which I definitely do not like the idea of.
Yeah, same.
But potentially that allows them to do mods in a on like a console or something. Which honestly would be a cool concept. If you could have mods from PC work on a console, that could be interesting. That could be fun. Imagine taking a portable Xbox with you or something and playing Skyrim modded out like crazy. Like you have one game on your Xbox, it's Skyrim, but it's fully modded, so the entire like save files and everything on all your storage capacity for your Xbox is just mods. Like that could be interesting. Although half of them wouldn't work because the limitations of the Xbox would not allow you to like make it graphically prettier or anything.
Yeah.
But the concept of being able to add additional content or extra player characters or NPCs or stuff like that, extra zones, something like that could be concept is cool. But this just felt like they took the religious aspect of Dead Space and like made a game about it. But it also feels too story based.
Yeah, I mean, it basically is an expansion of the House Faroon stuff they already had in the base game.
Well, I don't know any of what that is because I didn't play the base game. But
yeah, so there's like 3 factions. The well, maybe 4 if you count the other one. Yeah. So one of them is like basically Space America. One's sort of I don't know, I guess Canada, you could say. And then there's House Faroon, which is like the sort of sneaky, secrety type faction.
What is it? The Mystic Red Dawn or whatever from?
Probably, yeah, similar.
Yeah.
And then you have the exploration people that you're part of.
Exploration Guild or whatever.
Yeah, they have a name. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. It felt like Dead Space, which I don't know if you've ever played Dead Space or not, but
nope.
Dead Space is like there's a distress signal from one of the colony ships, so you're sent out. You're like a miner, and you're sent to the ship to go see like what's going on and on the surface and everything. And you find out that everyone on the ship seems to be dead. There's horrific monstrosities all over the ship. It's just a bad situation. But there's like this obelisk thing that's like caused everyone to go insane, and it's like a religious monolith type thing. And the miners from the colony took this obelisk and brought it on board of the ship, and when they did that, that's when it caused like psychosis issues, and it made everybody go berserk, and they either killed themselves or got transformed into monsters or who knows what. I assume it did a little bit of everything. And I'm just like, why would you not just jettison it into freaking space? Like, okay. But yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. But I did like the Helldivers outfits, armors, and weaponry style holding stuff. And then also the jackbots for Borderlands being in it, mixed with a whole bunch of, like, they just amalgamated everything. But the whole game looks like, hey, do the story. Where Skyrim was like, their story's there, but, knock yourself out, do whatever you want. And there was so much content, you could just do whatever you wanted. You didn't have to do the story. Like, I've never finished the story in Skyrim, and I played it so many times. But yeah, like it felt lacking.
So when you say Borderlands and jackpots, what do you mean exactly?
So jackbots, and did you ever play the Borderlands games?
No.
Okay. There's robots in it, and jackbots are like the yellow ones that well, I mean, at least some of them are yellow, and they would basically be like loader bots. So they would like be like forklift type mech robot type things. And when you're fighting against Handsome Jack, he has his Jackbots. Basically, he took over the Hyperion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the Jackbots are the bots that he uses as basically like foot soldiers and stuff. So they, in Bethesda's version, they look very similar. They're just green instead.
Do you mean that part where there were 3 robots walking out of a sort of case stuff?
Yes.
I think those are all also already in the base game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's Jackbot. I didn't play the
enough.
first game, so I didn't know if they were in there or not because I don't remember seeing the trailer. But here we got another one.
Wait a minute. It wasn't this like 20 years ago?
You'll see.
Lie. Okay, this is
Vaultathon 76 is sponsored in part by Sugar Bombs Breakfast Cereal. Bombs away. Folks, if you're just joining us, we're coming to you live in the 10th consecutive hour of our Vaultathon 76 drive. We've got operators standing by and, oh, it looks like we've got one.
Carries on from Skyline Valley. He's sending the whole family to Vault 76.
How about that? Skyline Valley, beautiful country, right in the heart of Shenandoah.
Oh, Shenandoah, I hear you calling.
Call now to join Harry and the over 17 million Vault dwellers already on board. And let's keep those numbers climbing.
Got 4 on the line from ABR Medical Center.
Vault 76 is a growing community, and strong community can weather any storm. Why, just take a look at our Skyline Valley neighbors in Vault 63.
Before we continue, I would like to point out that the lady who's putting the numbers in, why are they putting numbers in? They're in literally a world where they have televisions, for one. 2, you tell me with nuclear physics and nuclear fusion, or fusion, whichever one they're using, they can't create an automatic flipper? Like,
well, Fallout has a very strange tech level.
Yeah, super crazy advanced while super Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange existence. But let's see.
I mean, it has a nice aesthetic, I guess, but
I mean, seeing like a Rolodex type thing with flipping numbers and stuff would look just as nice and look probably more realistic.
Perhaps.
Or a TV, like each of the letters or each of the numbers is a TV, and then it just like flickers as they go up or something. Like, that would make sense too, but I don't know. Just a little annoyance that I noticed that I don't know how to really explain, but
The greatest scientific minds are hard at work, cooking up shocking new ways to protect and preserve this Appalachian. Yes, Skyline Valley is a stunning portrait of Mother Nature in repose. From the picturesque Shenandoah National Park to its majestic wildlife and friendly local residents, Skyline Valley is a welcome home to all. And don't forget to bring home a souvenir or two.
That gun looks atrocious, by the way.
When the bombs started dropping, don't come a knocking. Call now to reserve your place in Vault 76. Still not sold? Well, I suppose having skin is not for everyone. Best of luck out there.
It's like that. I suppose having skin's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Which is going to be basically like, hey, you can play as a ghoul.
Okay.
I guess now is a thing.
But
I'm guessing it wasn't a thing before.
It was already a thing.
Huh? What was?
Fallout 76.
Yeah, this is an expansion for it.
Why does it not say the name of the expansion in the title?
I thought it did. Like Shenandoah something.
And it just says Fallout 76 Xbox Game Showcase.
No, that's just
in the video, yeah, sure.
This is like Skyline Valley. Oh, I guess you can't see it. That's the Skyline Valley is your.
Okay, sure. I mean, who even owns Fallout 76?
Well, they've been giving it away like free after the Fallout show came out, so hotcakes. And I've heard they fixed it up quite a bit.
Did they?
Maybe it's good. I don't know. I thought about giving it a try. I got a free Windows copy, but I don't use the Windows Microsoft Store, because who in their godforsaken mind would try that? But I was like, well, if it goes on sale for like $5 in Steam, I'll buy it or something. I don't know. Just to give it a try. Because I like the Fallout series. It's just Bethesda sucks. That's the sad reality of it. But yeah, that is the sad reality. Let's go with this one. Since I have no idea what this is.
Not yet rated.
Like, I know the name, but I don't know what it is.
Soon she'll wake and paint again. Paint a new number, ticking down every year. One stroke, and everyone of that age vanishes into nothingness. Every year she paints again, and every year an expedition departs for the continent with one hopeless mission: destroy the paintress so she can never paint death again. We'll break the cycle so she can't steal anyone else's future.
This world is full of wonders.
Yet everywhere we go, we walk with death.
Do you mean we're the only ones left?
Even if we fail, we lay the trail for those who will come after. Right? We are Expedition 33.
This one doesn't look bad.
Well, we'll get to that. We will. So one of the things I noticed, graphically, doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
Concept, bit weird. I don't know what Claire.
Yeah, weird concept, sure.
I don't know what Claire Obscure means. So,
I mean,
I'm assuming it's a game series of some sort, because I don't know. You'd say Claire Obscure Expedition 33 if it's the first one, which would just be Claire Obscure. But I don't know if you noticed, it's a turn-based.
Clair Obscur is a painting technique, which
that's something that every gamer is going to know.
Which makes sense given the context of the video.
Yeah,
from Italy. Yeah.
So yeah, it's got that turn-based type of gameplay, but it has the QuickTime events. And the QuickTime events are going to be like it was saying, hit perfect or something. Like you could counter, you could dodge, you could do perfect attacks, that kind of thing. And it's an interesting concept, because one of my things I hate about turn-based is I hate getting hit. Like, it's mandatory you get hit. You have to pay the pound tax, as they call it, where you're going to get hit. Like, someone's going to pound your face in. So I hate that about turn-based games, because you can't just dodge them. Like skill-based games, like something like Black Desert Online, Guild Wars 2, the generic type of whack-a-mole type, smack 'em, dack 'em type combat scenarios, you can usually dodge them. They give you a dodge, they give you a counter, they give you a block that's effective. Valheim has a block that's a parry, a block. dodge rolls. Like, you get options. You don't get that in turn-based. So it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting way to do it. All for that. But then you have what was the other feature? Like the way this, it's like the story itself plays into the actual combat. So I feel like the combat's not going to be terribly like satisfying, but maybe it could. I could be completely wrong. I haven't played it. I don't really do turn bases that much outside of like the Third Age, but maybe it could be fantastic. It could be horrible. Who knows? But I don't know if you noticed, the story is basically told from the trailers. The man and his wife. The wife gets taken away by the painter. So basically, the painter, every time the painter does the painting, every year it drops down. It's like the Thanos snap. It just, people die. So the whole concept, from what I can gather, just from watching this is purely from watching this. I don't know anything about this game, just from this trailer. All that's happening is that the painter is painting death, and it kills a bunch of people. So the man and his daughter go on
the
this
expedition needs to go stop the painter to make sure people
that
don't
nobody
die,
else gets taken
obviously.
by the snap. Now, sounds like a good concept. And in a normal time period, I wouldn't think twice about it. But this is not normal times. In games that I would normally never thought about, now I have to question everything about them. And I don't know who's necessarily behind this. I don't know anything about these companies like Sandfall or Kepler or anything like that. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who they're affiliated with and whatnot, but I know like Sweet Baby Inc. and all those other kind of companies, consultation companies, consultant companies, whatever you want to call them. They're kind of infesting these places. But then you see that the dad dies and the daughter takes on it. And it's kind of the same thing with like Hawkeye from the Avengers and his show, Hawkeye. He gets replaced by, I think her name's Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
girl.
that's the name.
And it's like, it's literally just the man being replaced by the girl. Now, normal times, I wouldn't think twice about this. I'd be thinking that's just what happens. But considering how much has been shoved down our throats recently, in recent years, the last decade, 2 decades, I can't really look at that and be like, you know, that looks natural. Because now it looks very suspect.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to go. It could be completely DEI free. And if it is, power to it. I hope it's great. I hope everyone enjoys it. And I hope it doesn't have any crap in it. I get this feeling. And this feeling will not go away. That something involved in this is going to be whatever this nonsense is. So let's jump to the next one. Oh, this one's going to tickle your toes. This is one of the longer ones. So I'll wait. Green.
Do you think there's a chance my mom's still alive?
If your mom's anything like you have, she'll keep fighting till we find her.
I hope so. It's just hard to believe this is all really happening.
You mean to tell me your mama never told you stories about critters and weavers? Oh, you're lucky I come along.
What?
Shh. Oh, that's two-toed Tom. Big gator. I gotta drop you off fast.
After I got you out of that tree, you said you helped me find my mom.
I ain't at the disposition to be gator snacks.
Well, me neither.
We're gonna go on. We gotta get rid of him.
I'm all ears.
There's a church up a ways with a big bell. Go on and ring.
You want to make him come running?
Tom can't abide the sound of bells. Some church folks once tried to dynamite him, and he didn't take that too kind. If you ring that bell, he might skedaddle.
You better not skedaddle.
Go on now, scoot. I'll pick you up yonder after to go find your mom.
Okay.
Hey, I heard that.
One of the few that actually has
Almost
gameplay in it,
now.
by the way. It runs just
Gameplay,
like
in trailers is good.
kind kind of rare. I do find this funny.
That floating island is the gator?
It's like, oh wait, he's not moving, so I'm going to start moving, and then he moves. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
We just got into
hell
gameplay
no.
from a cinematic into another cinematic.
All right. Time to find that church.
Can't get her toes wet.
There it is. Now to get over there.
I can just fly. Damn.
Well, Papa gosh. Yes, yell, because that's what everybody needs to know.
What the hell?
I couldn't just get in the water. I don't know.
Yeah, also, what do you mean, what the hell? What did you expect when you rang the fucking bell?
Well, obviously, peace and tranquility for all. So, funny story. Because this is a, I don't know if you picked up on it. This is a stop animation type of game colorization artwork. Did you
Sorry,
pick up on
what
that?
then?
Stop animation. So, like, you take the creature, like, you ever see Lego Movie?
Yeah.
Or stop animation, or stop motion, whatever you call it. Where basically, like, they'll take something, move it a little bit,
Yeah.
or do that again.
Like
And
what
it's
you
got, like,
usually do with sort of clay figures.
claymation kind of stuff, yeah. But this obviously is not clay; it's just digital art. They just did that stuff. The concept is cool, but apparently, the design for the character was different on the first reveal.
I see.
Let's just say it
Let
doesn't
me
look
guess.
like it.
Not of the same ethnicity as it is now.
Well, apparently you're not supposed to say on YouTube's, because YouTube's is pissy about that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to say, but if anybody wants to actually look at it, or if you want to look at it yourself, go watch the original South of Midnight trailer, the first reveal trailer, and you'll see a different characterization. I vaguely remember seeing the art style of it, or not the art style, the art appearance of them. It was night and day. And I don't care if this is the character per se, in terms of, like, if this is how they originally had the character, it wouldn't matter to me. But if they had a character and then they changed it because they needed it to be appropriate for modern audiences, I have a problem with that. But not saying that's necessarily what they did, but kind of saying that's kind of what they did. Or at least that's what it appears that they did, I should say. But other things that can seem kind of weird, where she's like, I got you out of this tree, and you're like, your mom never told you about the weavers and the critters and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, so she's brand new to all this, but she's wielding a wand or whatever it is she has for magic, and she's doing it like a boss when she just got it.
Yeah.
That'd be like pulling a Dante's Inferno, but being like not a soldier, and going into Dante's Inferno to the Nine Hells and just slaughtering everything all the way through it. but having absolutely no history in wielding a giant scythe or any weapon of any type, no martial prowess whatsoever. Seems it'd be a little weird and a little pulling out that the first level you got is just ridiculous. You're like, where's the tutorial level? Like whatever. But yeah, it has kind of a cool concept, but I think it's been played with, and not in the video game style. So, any thoughts on that one?
I mean, I don't know. It's a weird one, let's say.
Okay, but what are your thoughts on said weird one?
I don't personally have any interest in it.
The reason
Combat
why?
looked okay-ish, but
Combat looked pretty fluid, but
yeah,
the actual trailer on the showcase was stuttering like nobody's business, but they didn't optimize it or anything, and it looked horrible. But
art style, I could maybe make
it's
that work.
It's passable.
The story is just weird. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's a fairy story in a modern, I would say modern, the fairy type story in a real world place. It's just Louisiana, basically. Classical. It might be also like Mississippi or something like that. I don't know. But let's go to the next one. Soothing music.
In darkness, she slumbers and dreams. And for countless generations, mortal heroes have risen to defend her. They faced monsters, tyrants, and beasts of primordial horror. Though they fought amongst themselves, their enmity following them to the most distant shores.
We will never be slaves!
And even across time and space, their courage never faltered. Even upon the very threshold of death. While new hope blooms on the horizon.
So isn't a bunch of this old footage?
Yes, they're basically going through the generations of World of Warcraft.
But why?
To lead up. It's like a story renewal. There's going to be a lot of people who aren't familiar.
It's already like 3/3 of the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't say Blizzard made all the good decisions all the time.
Draws near. Now, in the darkness, at the very heart of the world, the drums of war thunder once again.
Person of color, amputee, disabled person. Let's hit all the check boxes in one. Oh, and it's female.
Yeah. Also half blind.
I thought I said disabled. On top of the missing
Yeah.
arm.
Okay, fair enough.
And Azeroth
That person just broke their back.
awakens.
Who's that person?
The world.
The one that was doing the light swirly dance.
Why we
The dance.
shall
Proportions to exist.
be mine.
Just crack the planet because if I can't have it, nobody can.
Yeah. I mean,
that was a pretty lame one, honestly.
Yeah, basically no information other than there's a dwarf with fire eyes and a disabled person.
Yeah.
And some other people, I guess.
A dancing elf druid thing?
Blue person could be. Could be
Well, it could be a night elf. Dark elf, whatever they are called in World of Warcraft. I never got really into it, so. But if you notice, the first several expansions, whether they were received well or not, were just expansions.
Mm-hmm.
But then they get to this one, and it's like, oh, that's a DEI department right there. Like now, you can't see disabled people without thinking that someone's trying to throw this in there on purpose. It's not natural. It's not like we see them get their arm cut off, that they get scarred, where they were whole and now they're not. It's just immediately from the get-go. Look, it's a disabled person, just like you disabled people, because that's what we think you are. You're just a person we need to represent, so you'll buy our stuff. We don't actually care about you, but we'll do that because why not? And stupid. But yeah, I didn't play World of Warcraft or anything.
I did, but I never really got far. So
I played.
Experience
They had like a
expansion stuff.
They had like a free to level 20 thing, and I did like 4 or 5 characters to that. But $15 a month for that? No thanks. I can play Guild Wars for free, or say free subscription. And even the base game's free, so you can do all the core of the game for free. But if you buy it, you get a whole bunch of stuff unlocked that are otherwise locked because they want you to experience it. They don't want you to experience the entire thing for free. But there's like, what are they on? 5th expansion right now, and they got like a 6th one coming out.
Maybe
in August. So basically, when August hits, if anybody wants to get into Guild Wars 2, they're gonna put a whole bunch of the old expansions and stuff on like half off or buy one get 3 free kind of a thing. Like that's how they do their promotions and stuff.
Interesting.
Sometimes they have them 75% off, and they're really, really cheap, and they unlock entire regions and story content and all that jazz. If that's something you're into, or you've been playing the free one and you've been looking for an opportunity to do that, they're somewhere. But let's try this next one. Ooh, forgot the.
Just in case.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet. Approaching Soviet airspace.
I don't know if you noticed.
Listen up, Jack.
Your mission. The Soviet. Oh my gosh, the subtitles are way delayed. Like they're not when the voice says anything. So just keep that in mind.
Is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. Your codename for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. The clock is
naked.
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy.
I believe this is a prequel, but the game's called Snake Eater, and I think Naked Snake because there's like a whole bunch of different names. I don't have much experience with the Metal Gear brand, but they have things like Metal Snake, Boss Snake.
Yeah, okay.
It's a code name.
I only know Solid Snake from Super Smash Bros.
Well, this is Solid Snake. They're just
but he's Naked Snake, so
I know he's not naked right now, thank God. But it's a different time period. It's like before he became 007, he was 003 kind of a thing.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm using that as an example. Allegedly, there's multiple James Bonds that aren't the same people, but whatever.
Leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox Unit's specialty. In other words, weapons and equipment to procure on site. That goes for food as well.
It made more sense to walk underneath.
Exactly.
Well, you're completely naked, just as your name implies.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment. Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
The mission rests entirely in your hands.
People who want you dead.
A real one-man army. Freeze. Speak.
So what happened to leaving no trace?
Jobs never really ever go correctly, do they?
Fair enough.
And in Metal Gear Solid terms, the government tries to betray him quite often.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
I mean, it looked good, I guess.
There were some silly things in it.
Sure, but those were silly in the good way. I think.
I'd say they're silly in the immersion breaking way. But like if you're climbing on a walkway bridge, like a wooden bridge, if you're using your weight, the people who are standing still on it are going to feel your weight move the bridge.
Yeah.
Like,
now I was more thinking about the crocodile disguise.
Crocodile disguise?
Yeah, if you go back to the bridge part. Oh, there. A bit further on.
Oh, this hat?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that, I'll be honest. Wow.
That's hilarious.
That is kind of funny. All in all, it doesn't look horrible, but again, I'm not like a Metal Gear Solid aficionado or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what it's going to actually like be like or anything, but let's see what the next one is. It's Monkey Island 7. It's not. I love that. Season 13. It's like Warcraft hasn't even come up with that many seasons.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sea of Thieves seasons are pretty short.
I imagine they are.
And most of it is just some, cosmetics.
I don't have much to say on this except that I've heard mixed things about Sea of Thieves. Some people say it's really fun, but the problem is if you don't have people specifically to play with, it's not as fun. So,
yeah, that sounds about right.
Rated M for mature.
Okay.
You can already see where this is going, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind meddled where you shouldn't. As long as Oo is free, your world is in mortal peril.
And how is it that you know all of this?
Because I am a god too.
If you're a god, you're one of them. Why would I do anything to help someone I've sworn to kill?
If it's vengeance you want, I'll give it to you.
Come on then. Fight me and die.
Hmm.
Would you like her magic Gatling gun? She had her sword face down, just basically like turned it, and it's like the reflection was like a laser beam. I was like, "Are you freaking joking?"
I guess it's creative, but
I mean, really creative considering who the lead is.
Oh, yes.
Female women.
Oh yeah, I see Kepler again. Wasn't that on one of the previous ones as well?
That was on Obscura, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a Claris Obscura. Is that correct?
Claire Obscure.
Claire Obscure or Claire Obscure 33.
Expedition 33.
Expedition 33.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where like years ago I might not have thought twice about it.
Mhm.
Nowadays, it's just like I have to question it by default.
But also the combats. I'm not sure. It feels
the movement, like when they had the little purple triangles, it just felt like a really cheap way to move around the map.
Yeah.
Like, and this isn't like a giant open world. This is like a very head straight to the end kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
And with it
well,
being,
I don't know that. It could be sure.
Well, I'm saying based off it's because this is a story-driven Souls-like. So it's a story-driven. It's not going to be like Elden Ring, where it's just a giant open world and you're walking around doing stuff. There's
No, Elden Ring's also story-driven.
yes, but it's notoriously designed to be giant open world as opposed to other games. It'd be like Skyrim versus like Daggerfall. Daggerfall had a big world. Kind of do whatever you want. Skyrim, big world, but more story focused, I think, than anything else. In that between those two. But then you have Skyrim to like Fable. Not quite the same thing. Fable's very like you can go back and forth between places you've been, but the story is what pushes everything. And you have limited places you can go. This is gonna be one of those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think Dragon's Dogma was probably more free than this is. But the whole strong female character who's very manly, no breasts of any type, really.
Yeah, I didn't mention.
Tries to talk like a dude, like I'm a really high pitched dude, and it's like, no, you're not. And of course, the weak one's the man who died early on, and the woman's got to pick up the stake and like, oh, I'll show you who's boss. I'll finish the mission. Y'all suck at everything. And that's the vibe I'm getting from it, and I'm just like, I know the one.
Yeah.
The concept with like the evil god demon thingy joining forces, that sounds cool. in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what flintlock has to do with it, considering half the time she didn't even really use the flintlock, because only in certain instances. I didn't like the suspended in the air thing while she shoots people thing, because
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's what I meant with the combat feels a bit awkward.
it feels weird when you do that in a combat scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is also another one of those things where the character was intended to be something and then they changed it. That's another cool, if I recall correctly.
Maybe.
So. This one ought to be
We
fun.
return to you now.
Oh, okay, this one I know. Age of Mythology. Could be good.
As the gods.
This should be pretty straightforward, honestly. If it's not, that's a problem.
Rulers of the Greeks and the Norse.
The Egyptians and the Atlanteans.
We created mankind to fight for our glory. So rise and wield my wrath.
Command beastly chaos.
Rain down destruction.
And unleash our fury.
Worship me. Claim my power.
And legend
will be yours.
Yeah. Looks fun.
I'm worried. Because instead of just making like a Age of Empires 2 HD or the eventual Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, it's like they're going to jump to something else entirely, like a complete regame design and everything. And it's going to cease to be basically Age of Mythology. Because Age of Mythology was quite literally just Age of Empires 2 with a reskin.
Yeah, could be.
So I'm worried they're going to lose that. And then they're going to pull away from the style of play and get a little bit crazier than it used to be. I mean, it was already crazy, but you know what I mean.
So, I mean, I guess there's only really one way to find out.
Wait for the reviews?
Yeah. Well, wait for gameplay videos for people playing the game.
Now, you ready for this glorious disaster?
Am I?
Your target is in possession of a radioactive device. Stop Carrington's attack at all costs. Good luck, Agent.
I always knew I had an instinct. I could see the world different.
First time I saw that, I thought Arrakis from Dune, from the Dune 2 movie, or Dune and Dune 2.
Yeah. The sandstorm bit, I assume.
And the building.
I don't think those buildings look very much like the ones on Dune.
Or no, Arrakis isn't the house. Is Arrakis the house or the? Is it Dune?
Arrakis is the planet.
Okay. Yeah. So Arrakis. When did you watch both movies?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the first one, when they land, they move to Arrakis.
Mm-hmm.
All the places were kind of like low with a couple of really tall buildings, and it was kind of like a dust Tatooine planet station. That's kind of what it reminds me of. That's what I'm just saying. Just from
I think the building is too round.
Too phallic?
No, not necessarily. It's too smooth, let's say. The Arrakis buildings were all...
Hey now, just tell us how you feel.
Angular, let's say.
Cough.
They had to them.
He's like, I've given away too much. All right.
I thought it would be like any other mission.
Okay. Wait, weren't you supposed to attack a plane? was that something else?
You know the game Perfect Dark?
No.
Explains. That's not what she looks like in the slightest. She's got the short hair, not the jaw of a man.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense, I guess.
You need to see the comparisons. The comparisons are wild. It's night and day. Some like modder or somebody like graphic designer just took it, did like an hour-long work on it, and just changed it from this really fat, square-jawed face, man face, and made it more of a petite, feminine, without being like frail, like still strong,
Mm-hmm.
but more like a Black Widow.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing.
I was wrong.
Also, her eyes don't feel like they're the right
Welcome
way.
to Garden City, where it's a pleasant 23 degrees all day, every day.
23 Fahrenheit, of course.
How far to his last known location?
Yeah. I know exactly how much that is.
You need to find him before they do.
I'll have to improvise.
Generating voice print.
Yes.
What readings are you getting?
We are getting odd readings from your monitor. Can you confirm?
I'm looking at the screen right now.
Our intel places Carrington on the second floor.
And the life we think we know
That's not how jump works.
turns out to be a lie. There's only one way forward. Find the truth. Scan's clear. I'm going in blind.
Carrington! Damn it!
Why would you call it?
What am I looking at here?
Carrington.
What?
Why would you, if you're trying to sneak up on someone, call out Carrington?
I think she's trying to get somebody out. Or no. She's attacking somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. A very veteran, senior type operating agent would probably not do that.
Probably not.
They'd probably walk right behind him and just get rid of him.
Yeah. Well, clearly not.
Appears to be targeting a research facility. If he attacks it, the casualties could be astronomical.
I love how the guy says that, like, it's another
Yeah.
day at the golf club.
I mean, it basically is, right?
For him, he's probably at the golf club.
Agent Stark, it's a pleasure to meet you. I could use someone with you.
You could totally just shoot through those servers.
Mm-hmm.
Kill those guys before they throw anything.
Your skills.
Now we can shoot through stuff.
I had to lose everything before I could see.
You like how they waited? You know how they waited for her to reload?
Mm-hmm.
She's like walking out there like, all right, she's reloaded. Ah!
What this world was really hiding.
Spices.
I hope you're ready, Agent Dark.
Are you all seeing this?
Once you open this door, there's no going back.
Perfect Dark. The perfect disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Perfect Dark on Nintendo 64 was the bomb. Not quite as bomb as a GoldenEye 007, but still really fun. But yeah, thoughts?
Yeah, you mentioned the face, which is now
Obvious to you?
obvious. Yes.
You're welcome.
I mean, gameplay looks okay. Story, I don't know.
The gameplay looks a little lame if the AI is waiting for you to reload.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I mean, there's a weird thing going on, sort of semi-mystery. Could be interesting.
A little supernatural sci-fi in there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, obviously there's sci-fi in it already, but like
Mhm.
space sci-fi mixed into something that's not necessarily space sci-fi.
Exactly. Yes. Could be interesting, maybe. Shooter though, so I'm probably going to skip it.
What a loser!
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what the next one's going to be as soon as I do everything correctly, because I've totally been doing that so well lately.
Ah, great.
Uh-huh.
Akrat. Cheers, Chicha.
Got yellow fever.
Boy, young one, are you all right? Nerel? Oh, you're not well. Please, please, my child, let me help you.
Stay away from me!
Nerel! Is that how I raised you?
No, Mother. But
What?
I must carry this burden alone.
Okay, Frodo.
I must get to Akarat's tomb. But look at you. You're killing yourself. I don't know how much longer I can... I'm here, little magpie.
Call your kid a magpie.
I miss you so much. I'm so proud of you. But now I need you to give up.
No. Of course it's you! You monster! Let go of me!
Let's go.
I'd like to point out that the mom's Indian, but the daughter looks Chinese or Asian.
Yeah, maybe the father.
A little weird.
Was Chinese, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. You made a choice. And I warned you, little magpie. There would be consequences.
No! I control the stone!
You hold the stone. You control nothing.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I could use some help.
Uh-oh.
This got awkward.
Cheers,
Tam. Mine turisti. Mine
Yeah. I guess that's the trailer.
That's a trailer. I am not into Diablo after Diablo 2. And not Diablo 2 Resurrected, just Diablo 2.
Diablo 4, I also believe, was a bit of a...
cluster bomb? Yep.
Yeah.
There's a bit of
Free
a...
purchase and instantly unlock in-game rewards.
Yeah. Because it's an expansion.
Yeah.
I've heard that they've turned around Diablo 4 a bit, but I don't support Blizzard or Activision anymore.
I mean, this trailer basically tells us nothing.
It tells us there's a big evil,
Yeah,
and if
okay. Mephisto is scary, I guess. He does creepy stuff.
I'm saying, like, if you are familiar with the game, this could be really exciting for
Perhaps, sure.
I don't know who Narello or Narella or whoever she is. I don't know who that is.
Anyone really?
Yeah, could be you.
Well, maybe not that. Last I checked, I wasn't Chinese, so.
Or a woman. You didn't even start with a woman. You started with the totally different race. I'd say though, for people
Well,
like,
nowadays you don't really know the difference anymore between men and women, right?
oh, I thought you were going to say the difference between Chinese and women.
No.
It's like, what? I do not know anything about Diablo 4. I'd rather play Path of Exile, and Path of Exile has the second one coming out soon, allegedly, at the beginning of next year.
I heard something about that.
I'd rather play that because so far they haven't crapped all over everyone and been a scumbag company. We'll see if they change their minds. Hopefully they don't. If they know what's good for them, they won't. But then again, that's me giving them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, here's a good one.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
That's
Oh, right. Jude. So, you want to know all about heroes, do you? Well, you have come to the right place. Because who better to tell you all about them than perhaps the greatest hero of them all? Yeah? There he is, in all his finery. Cheers. I mean, sure, you get your mega fans.
You are like literally my favourite person.
Your haters.
It's like a fan club, but we hate you.
Your chances. And the occasional giant toad. For some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
I'm a hero. I should do what I want.
Yeah, terrible hairstyles.
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what defines you, isn't it? Really stays with you. I knew this one hero. I took her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of Albion. Thought I'd get her out there, make the most of her gift. But you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove. I tell you, this kid, she had it all. The skill, the talent, the power. She was something else, all right. She was terrifying. So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Humphrey. She's back.
I'm going to fix it, this place. And no one is going to stand in my way.
This really hurts, honestly, because I love the Fable games.
Mhm.
Obviously, Fable 3, bit of a rough patch. But
maybe, yeah.
I really do love the Fable games. I love the humor. I really do love the cartooniness of them.
Mhm.
I'm worried that you can't make your own character. Because they seem to be really pushing this thing as a playable person.
Yeah.
Person. So, have you ever played any of the Fable games?
I have not.
Okay. So Fable is
so you say Fable 3. This one doesn't have a number, which
Fable 4, but
Fable
it's
4. Okay.
It's like a Fable but revamped kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a new game, but it's like the Fable franchise reborn kind of thing. Because it has Fable 3 came out what 2000. Gosh, 2000
long ago.
Maybe. I don't know. It's been a hot minute. It's been a long time to say that. It's basically like you play good or bad or neutral or whatever you want to play. Like your decisions define how you appear, and you can put different types of clothes on if you want to be silly, if you want to be serious, if you want to be evil, you want to be good. You can do stuff like eat crunchy chickens will give you bad points, and you can go more dark if you want to go that route. Or you can do this and you can become really good, or whatever it might be. If you're good and people like you, they can give you like discounts on their shop wares and stuff. But if you're evil or scary and they don't like you, they'll raise their prices, kind of a thing. You could work with the bandits. You could, if you're evil, obviously. You could be everyone's most hated hero or villain, whatever. You can kind of do whatever. Some of them are fun because you could like buy houses, like spend gold on houses that you got from different events of whatever type. And you could buy houses, rent them out, and have like a steady passive income. And one of the things I like to do is I just go in and I just buy up all the houses because it's passive steady income. So when you have to buy the really expensive gear, or you have to get a whole bunch of something or whatever reason, or whatever you're needing, you can get it. Or if there's unlockables that are like 10,000 gold, and you're like, well, I make about 20,000 a day. Okay, and it's really fun. You can marry somebody. You can, I think you could have kids to some extent, depending on which game you're in. The second one is the most notoriously popular one. First one would be right after that, and then they did like a remake of the first one, which had it's like the anniversary edition. Really fun game. Third one was more like the Industrial Revolution kind of a thing, like end of the Renaissance, moving into the Industrial Revolution, but it got a little wonky, and not the fun, playful, weird kind of way. They were making Fable 4, and then they got shut down, and then they made this. But I don't know if you saw the lady that they based the quote-unquote hero off of as the mocap actress.
I have not seen the actual person.
Okay, so the actress is actually pretty good looking, all things considered. Not my particular type, but she's an attractive lady nonetheless. Like, she's not hideous. Then you have the character they give us, which is hideous. And they're like, oh, well, we can't make the face and everything just like the person. And I'm looking over it like, man. Of all these characters that look identical to their actors, 110%. And then we get Stellar Blade. And Stellar Blade looks like the actress in terms of like, well, one, she's Korean. Two, body type and everything. They did emphasize the butt and the thighs a little bit more, but
wow, I can live with that.
I know, I'm sure you could. You seem very distraught at the moment, but it's like they managed to do it in Korea, and you're telling me that in Western gaming you can't. It's like, oh no, you just don't want to because that would make an attractive woman, and we all know you love attractive women. By love, I mean they don't, not in the slightest. But that entire time he's talking about like, oh, the hero's terrifying, made all the wrong choices.
Mhm.
He's talking about the rival hero, but they're showing the images like it's her.
Like
that's
it's-
making
yeah.
the wrong choice. And it's just kind of like, it's not as sneaky as they think. Because if I can figure it out, it's not that sneaky. But it's a choice-based game where you make your choices and do all that kind of stuff. I didn't know what your thoughts might be before we jump into the next one.
I mean,
it's an RPG, so I think you'd enjoy the original ones.
Probably.
First one,
yeah.
third one, first one's on Steam. The
it looked fine in my opinion. I mean, characters not being attractive is kind of annoying.
well,
but
in the other games, you could, like in the first game, you just played a guy, and
yeah,
I think in the second one you could be a guy or a girl, and the third one I think you could be a guy or a girl. And they gave you more choices as like the game got bigger. Like it started out like as an RPG, and then it got bigger, and then like, oh, now you can do this, this, or this. And your character never talked. Your character just went, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Like it.
Yeah, just like Link.
Well, more emotive than Link, and more.
Fair enough.
But
Link is notoriously stoic, let's say.
I shall not speak. But yeah, that's kind of the general rigmarole of Fable. But it's all choices based. You do quests, you get cool weaponry, you buy houses, rent them out, or whatever. You can fall in love with somebody, hit them up with a sack, whatever, literally whatever it is you're trying to go for. Soundtrack's pretty cool. The first and the third one I think are on PC, but I think the third one you have to get like a CD key for it. I don't know if you can get it originally. You might be able to get it on Steam. I don't remember. I have the first and the third one on PC. The second one I don't think they ever released on PC for whatever freaking reason. I don't know why. It's the best one, so why wouldn't you? But there's a lot of cool stuff.
Annoying.
Huh?
That does sound a bit annoying, yeah.
It is a bit annoying, but all right. Next one.
Use this. Make your own rules.
It's my turn.
I'd like to point out the main people are female and or black. All the bad guys are blonde white people.
Yeah. Regardless of that, this does not interest me in the slightest.
Well, it's a shooter. I don't expect.
Yeah, but even then, I do play some shooters.
Well, it's
this one,
the Overwatch clone, which
yeah,
is
it's
Steam stuff like Team Fortress.
I think it's the art style that
I think the art style is kind of cool, honestly. The thing I'm not particularly thrilled about, like, I mean, the concept behind being able to change your surroundings as you're going, like, be like, hey, I have this card, I'm gonna break it, boom, I have bushes around me, I can hide, wait for somebody to walk by and kill them. That's kind of a cool concept. A bit chaotic. I don't know how I feel about the chaos part. Like when the whole hallway started warping, I was like,
yeah, no,
that might be a bit too much for my
too
taste.
much.
But the concept, the colorization, the paint kind of thing, like Splatoon style, doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's not something I'm interested in, though.
Yeah, I figured. So, on to the next one, I suppose. I mean, for a quick shooter, it looks like it's going to go out of style pretty quick.
Yeah.
Pretty typical.
I mean, it has to compete with a whole bunch of others that are way more established.
Yeah. I think this is the one that actually looks pretty decent, at least somewhat. Yeah, it's like a Don't Starve kind of game.
But with a mouse.
There is nothing left for me in the city. So, I have traveled back to where I grew up. Here, I found my childhood home in ruins. Why hasn't my aunt taken good care of it? The bridge to her house is broken, so I can't even ask her. I will make the tree stump a cozy home again, no matter what it takes. And no matter how hard it gets, I will fight. And find meaning and beauty out here. Some will say that in the dead of winter, a small city mouse doesn't stand a chance. Maybe so. But I must keep believing that every winter leads to spring. Nancy! Finally! No!
Wow.
The final boss, Zeus the Owl.
Yeah, looks fun.
That one actually looks interesting. I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot I can really say, but I enjoy the Don't Starve kind of survival crafters. I have Don't Starve Together and Don't Starve. They're fun games, ridiculously hard, but they're fun. No, nothing too crazy to say about that unless you had something.
Nothing in particular other than that. Yeah, it looks like it has potential.
Yeah.
My mixtapes bend others to my will. It's a strange, almost cosmic talent.
Go back to a time where summers lasted forever, when friendships were unbreakable and any trouble was good trouble.
This year, I want to ride a flaming stallion of delinquency.
Yes!
What's your name again?
From Beethoven and Dinosaur comes an adventure a lifetime in the making. Experience the freedom of the teenage wasteland, sneaking out, making out, avoiding the law, and maybe something a little more.
Hey, can I stand up?
Yeah, little Rockford, go nuts!
Set to the soundtrack of a generation.
What are we going to think of ourselves in 10 years?
I'll just remember to tell myself it felt important at the time.
Your greatest memories are stored in music. You're invited to go back in mixtape.
There have been noise complaints.
Okay. Okay. Hit me with your thoughts, because I have no words for this, because I have no idea what I just watched.
Yeah, it looks kind of boring, to be honest.
Well, it's an adventure teenager.
Yeah, but why would you want to?
I guess. I don't know. Like a sim of sorts?
Maybe. I don't know. Not my type of game.
That's not my type of game either, but it was definitely a game.
The next one, however.
This is definitely your type of game. Look how good they make the world when you're going to be so freaking high up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Really, truly appreciate it when you run into it. Did they turn it into a racing game? Is that what they turned it into?
Maybe. Could be interesting if they did.
Uh-oh, female pilots. We're in trouble.
Uh-oh. They forgot to remove the thing.
Yeah. I'm nervous. Female pirates. Pirates. Female pirates. Yarr.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd feel safer with female pirates than I would female pilots.
Look, someone got hospitalized already.
Are you
The
surprised?
sky is actually the limit, though, in Flight Simulator.
I don't know. I feel like the ground's more of a limit.
Maybe, yeah. Unless they have like a space shuttle or something.
Like, I see some of this could be kind of fun in some way. Otherwise, I'm like, seems kind of boring.
So isn't this like super expensive?
What do you mean? Like buying the game?
The game.
I don't know what the prices are, but I would assume it's probably going to be $70, if not more.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different one then, because I could have sworn some sort of simulated game from
I don't know,
Microsoft was
honestly.
super expensive.
I have no idea. I think the ambient shots and stuff would be really cool. But that I get that from like No Man's Sky or something. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
This wasn't on the original showcase that I remember.
This is 2024, right?
Yeah. Take a gander while I get set up. Oh, what the? All right. It's not waiting for me. You find out?
Well, not yet. Guess I'll just go to Steam or something. What's the next one?
Many times I tried to tell you. Many times I tried.
Elder Scrolls Online?
Is it glitching or is that just me? It feels like it's glitching from one thing to another.
Maybe.
Not just the glitchy. It feels like they're trying to play off of the humor of Fable.
Yeah, could be. Oh, that one got frozen. Yeah, it doesn't fit Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. I like how the gesture turns into a freaking lich. Little dwarven little spider leg crawling in. That's coming out in less than a week. Next Tuesday, I believe.
I mean, I played Elder Scrolls Online for a bit.
I play it, but not very often because I have other things to play more often. And most of my friends don't play Elder Scrolls Online as often as I would play with them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think the world's fine.
The world's fine.
Most
of the DLC so far have been fine.
Yeah, I don't want to pay the exorbitant amount of money. The exorbitant amount of money they want per each one, and the rate that they release them is pretty large. Like, they literally do like a single area for like $30 or something, and I'm like, for $30, I get like 4 or 5 areas in Guild Wars 2. Like, it seems like a very imbalanced. I mean, maybe the area is bigger in Elder Scrolls, and that's why. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
But it just,
I don't know what the comparison is between
cost per square foot seems to not be putting out for how much they want for this. But also something I've realized about like PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and all that stuff is like I got the Elder Scrolls Online for Xbox One.
Yeah.
Back in the olden day, like when it first came out, and you gotta pay the yearly subscription in order to play it on there, because that seems like a legitimate thing. Like, I feel like the online games where like they're only online, they do not exist. You can't single player the game or do anything without other people. Like, you have to be online. Those games should be free online.
You mean internet connection specifically, or?
Well, yeah, like you don't have to pay the yearly subscription to play the game that's only online. Like,
Yeah.
for PlayStation 5, you can
So
buy.
you mean pay extra so you have the ability to play online?
Well, yeah, because if you're paying, like, if I buy a Helldivers or something, Helldivers 2 for PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
It's $40, which is really cheap. It's good.
Sure.
It's good solid price. But then they're like, okay, that'll be $70 for a year subscription to our server. So I'm like, so you're saying in order, if I only ever wanted to play just Helldivers, it's at least, what was that? $111, $110?
Yeah.
$110 to play 1 year of a game. The next year you don't have to pay 110. You just got to pay 70, which means that now you're paying what, $180 for 2 years to play this game. Like, it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And I doubt that every single player that plays Helldivers is going to play Helldivers 2 every single day to really get the money out of it. But if you have it on PC, you pay $40 for the rest of your life, and you basically have it paid off. This is what I'm saying. Like, PC is superior for many reasons.
However, what about subscription-based MMOs?
That should be just your subscription.
Yeah, but is the problem specifically the buying and subscription, but just subscription is fine?
See, for me, if it's like, say, Black Ops, like Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah, sure.
It's got a single player mode and it's got a multiplayer mode. If you need to have a payment plan for that, fine, because it has a version of it you can play outside of needing the actual online subscription. So when I say subscription, I'm not saying subscription to like Elder Scrolls or to World of Warcraft. I'm saying subscription to PlayStation to have
okay, fair enough.
world. So for Helldivers, the game's only online. It doesn't have an offline mode. There's no single player mode. It's all online. Even if you play by yourself, it's still online. You can't just play by yourself. You have to be connected to the internet. But in order to do that on PlayStation or Xbox or whatever, you have to have their online subscription pack. And then let's imagine, because I think at one point, I think Elder Scrolls Online had a subscription version of it or whatever that you had to play, you pay to play, and they got rid of that pretty quickly. But I feel like when they first came out, they did, but I could be wrong. But like, let's say you wanted to play World of Warcraft. Let's say World of Warcraft is like, we're coming out on PlayStation, we're coming out. They'd never do this because there's too many buttons. But hypothetically, let's say that they came out with that. You're paying $15 a month, unless they bump that up or whatever. Maybe possibly down, highly doubt down. But let's say $15 on average. Then you have to pay the $70 to PlayStation. And then you have to buy the games and all the expansions. Now, PC do the same thing, but one of these is not like the other. You don't pay that $70. So
but you still need to pay for the
you still pay for the subscription. Well, no. You pay for the subscription to World of Warcraft. You pay for the game and any expansions, but you're already paying for the internet.
Yeah,
because you're on PC. You paid, whatever your internet, your what is it? ISP.
I don't know.
Internet service provider.
That sounds
Whoever you get internet from, you're already paying them money to get access to the internet.
Mhm.
Sony's like, well, we want some more monies. Xbox, we want more monies. Nintendo on a much smaller scale, we want some more monies. But at least Nintendo gives you access to all their emulation versions of the things like NES, SNES, and all that stuff. At least they give you that stuff, so that's worth the cost in that regard. I still think they should bring back all the old stuff that you can just buy on their store. Like their shop should be still available, basically.
Mhm.
But like Xbox, they have Game Pass, which isn't bad. It's like what, $20 a month or something like that. I don't know. And you have access to a bunch of games, all that cool stuff. It's not necessarily a bad gig, but you don't have access to just anything. And you have, if something leaves, you got to go buy it. So it's like, well, I might as well play the games I want to play. And now, if let's say I was a reviewer YouTube channel or something, Game Pass would probably be a blessing because I could just pay $20 a month, buy a bunch of games, stream them all, and be reviewing them and be like, wow, this is a really fun game. This is a trash game, blah, 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 blah. You know, that's basically the cost of what a Netflix account is now. Would you rather watch a show or would you rather play a game? Personally, play a game. Not a whole lot of decisions there for me. I do like a decent TV show or something here and there, maybe a decent movie. But a game's more interactive. It's more exciting. There's more who knows what going on, more choices tailored to me, as opposed to, you know, this world where I have no say in it whatsoever. And it is what it is, I suppose.
Indeed,
So,
yes.
I mean, I don't see value. But one thing I want to mention, when they say, like, when you have PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, Epic, Steam, PC, Mac, a lot of these games on PlayStation, you can't log into your account if you have one on a PC already. So, like, I play Crossout with some buddies.
Yeah.
And it's a Russian-made, like, car Mad Max kind of thing where you, like, spick out your car a little bit and be like, hey, machine guns, shotguns, laser guns, whatever, melee attack stuff where I could spike into somebody or run over somebody or whatever. It does not have the ability to log into your account on PlayStation. Neither does Path of Exile. I can't log into Path of
You need to make a new account for PlayStation specifically?
Yep. And I'm like, this sounds really stupid because I would play. And here's the thing: Path of Exile, free to play.
Mm-hmm.
Crossout, free to play. You don't even need internet paid stuff. You don't need a PSN account, like that kind of stuff. You just need to like have your own login or whatever. It's free to play, but there's no way for you to connect them together. And I think the reason is because PlayStation takes a percentage of whatever you purchased through PlayStation.
Could be.
Because if you had access to your other stuff, you could just buy it on the other stuff and you wouldn't have to go through that. It's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it blows my mind because I feel like it would, like, more people would play on your system. I'd play it a whole lot more on my PlayStation than on my computer, because my computer I could do other things on while I'm playing. I'm a multitasker. I've got at least 3 screens right here. So I want to be able to do stuff, and like I can use my PlayStation to watch Amazon Prime or Netflix or Paramount Plus or whatever it is I want to watch. If I want to watch any of those or something else entirely, I can watch those while I'm doing my computer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm like, I can take my PlayStation and it be my smart TV and I can play my games on it. It's literally just the box I can carry around. It's much smaller than a desktop.
Mm-hmm.
I already know the game can be run on it. It's not like a Switch where it's going to have glitches and stuff. Like Switch with Fortnite was pretty bad. And I hate Fortnite. I just like, hey, maybe I could give it a shot again. And then, boy, was that a mistake.
I mean,
maybe I could do it on PlayStation, but yeah. Huh?
If it's free.
It is.
Why not?
But it's still trash. I can't stand Fortnite. All the shooters now are pretty much stupid and trash because they're all Battlefield Arena type stuff, and I don't like those.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2005 edition.
Mm-hmm.
But just wanted to throw that in there before we move on. Another one.
I swore I'd never use my power again.
That obviously didn't work.
But 2 nights ago, I found my friend's body in the woods.
Was it a white male?
I don't know who I can trust. Or who trusts me. But my friend Safi is dead.
Sophie?
Well, it's not a white male.
Why can I still hear her voice? Focusing my power, I somehow shifted into a parallel timeline. Here, Safi is still alive. The danger stalks our every step. And only I can investigate both realities.
Hang on. Parallel world?
It's the same as this one, except you're dead. I can still save
I feel like
Safi
there's a few more differences between that.
if I can solve and prevent the same murder across 2 timelines.
But wouldn't that break the timeline?
If you solve the murder, it doesn't change the events. You just know who did it, right?
Well, she has access to the same timeline she started in. She has access to an alternate or parallel timeline, right?
Yeah.
One could argue if she has access to the other timeline, she could go back in time.
Why?
In the same timeline to be there when Safi gets shot or whatever.
But why is time travel suddenly an option?
Why are parallel world visitations suddenly a thing?
Well, that's the part of the story, but that it doesn't also automatically imply time travel.
Well, if you can go to a parallel world and this event hasn't taken place in one parallel world, odds are...
No, it's not that it's the same time period in both worlds, but in one she's murdered and in the other she's not.
So basically she only cares about catching the murderer. She doesn't care about trying to fix the timeline.
Well, I don't think it's possible to fix the timeline because this is just a parallel world jump.
You can go into a timeline and out of a timeline. It doesn't mean you can't change or choose what time you go into the timeline. I mean, you already have the supernatural power. Why are we limiting?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But it seems like this is not a time travel thing.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it looks okay. I don't know anything about the series. I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it.
Life is Strange is a bit of a weird one.
You think? But then we just found that out.
No, it's the other ones are also strange.
I mean, that's what's called Life is Strange.
Yeah, I guess. Guess it's accurate in that way. Double Exposure is an interesting title, I guess.
Photography language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it looks fine, but honestly, probably not my type of game. But I really can't still get over the fact that the name of the friend is pronounced Sophie instead of
Safi. It's S-A-F-I. It's S-A-F-I.
Ah, Safi. More.
Yeah. It's like a Arabian type name.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was just very strangely pronounced Sophie.
No, it's just when it shows Safi, the A looks like an O. It has the little tail on it, and that changes it up. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind murder stuff.
Sense.
Murder games are weirder than murder shows. Like murder shows, you've got to figure it out. You're like looking at people from different perspectives. But when you're the person, when you're the actual like protagonist,
Mm-hmm.
you're going in, you got to find the antagonist. it gets a little weird because, like, from my perspective, I'm like, that's not what I would do in real life. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with like not what is it? What's that one horror? It's a very Outlast, I believe. There's a horror video game called Outlast. And it's got
Yeah,
horror monsters in it and everything, and you're like in a sane asylum, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, you know, satanic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're this guy with like a photography camera, no gun, no.
Okay,
bully-
and you go into a
bully card.
monster house.
Well, you don't necessarily know it's a monster house, but like
Okay, fair
you don't even grab like a chair, break off a leg, and stake them through the heart or something. Like you don't do nothing that would make logical sense. Same thing like Resident Evil games, where like, oh, there's this horror chasing me. I'm going to run at a very slow jog. Like that's not what you would do. It's infuriating for someone like me to be able, like sprint, run like you're gonna die because you're gonna die. Like behave, human. Stop this nonsense. Like, I'm sorry, a fully trained veteran military person would be running like the Dickens from virtually anything zombified.
Yeah.
A superhuman monster zombie that's humongous and doesn't take doesn't take bullet damage well. Like, you're gonna
Like
run
any
for your
human
life.
friends.
You're not gonna just be like, oh no, splat. Like that's not what you're gonna do. It's the horror films with the blonde cheerleader chick after she gets railed by like 20 guys running through the woods from the bad guy, and then all of a sudden trips, falls in a root, and he's like 300 yards back. She just lays on the ground screaming at the top of her lungs, just laying there, but she can just get up and keep moving. It's that kind of a thing. It's like it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that kind of thing pulls me out of the kind of game. So I don't want to play that kind of game.
You do have a point there. Yeah, I can agree.
I'd rather watch a film that's mysterious or mystery based, or even a supernatural version of it. Like this seems more like Doctor Who, but a better version of Doctor Who.
Wow. I mean, if you go back to the old ones, they were pretty good.
I mean, I'm not even saying like they're good or not good. Oh shoot. I'm saying like I want to be able to react how I would react.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I want. And they don't do that. Now this one actually looks kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen this one yet or not.
Well, I don't know. Amazing season. Okay. Robots, yeah.
More like Gundam, but yeah.
Be interesting. Wow. What's the difference?
What a lot.
Okay. Looks interesting.
I'd say.
However, I think the movement looks a bit awkward.
Well, again, it's in beta in August.
That's fair.
My thing about it is it's like an Overwatch kind of game,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of focusing on so much about the characters that you're playing,
Yeah.
focuses more on the mechanics between, like shields. I've seen actual gameplay of people playing this when they showed like they had like an alpha test or something like that, and it actually looks really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have some mechs are more defense based, where they have like bulwark shield type things, energy shields. You've got more that are assassin-y, they got more that are like fighter, they got some more that are support, like cleric healer kind of thing. And you basically, like, the ones I saw were like actually arena, where you had one side, and they had to break through, and sometimes they had payloads, just like Overwatch, just like Team Fortress 2. It's a clone, whatever. But it's a different skin, different theme, different feel. It's like, that actually looks like it could be fun.
Yeah.
So that's something I don't mind. The customization's nice. I miss MechWarrior being good, though. But we can't have everything we want, sadly. This one's, I think, the longest one of all of them.
Okay.
But
5 minutes?
It does look 5.5 minutes. But it has my attention, but I am cautious because of things I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, I see the title, and I think this could go either way.
That's not a good sign.
Are you sure you want to investigate this, Kindy?
I can't let this go. It could be the best kept secret in history.
What are you going to do, Indiana?
Steal the independence of the
These artifacts
Declaration
have
of
a deep
Independence of
connection
America.
to something in the past. Moss believes they hold a kind of power. A discovery that could change the world.
What were you doing out there?
Fresh air! We have to find the stones, Gina. Or they will. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you'd get a perfectly aligned circle.
Okay,
A
sure.
great circle.
Exactly.
I intercepted the Morse code coming from the Himalayas.
Where Voss is sending all of his men.
Is that a...
Battleship? Yep. Let's get a closer look.
It's Noah's Ark. It's not.
Gotta find the stone and get off this ship.
Didn't know Noah was so advanced in shipbuilding.
What does it say?
Earth is something. What was that?
Break his hand and move.
We'd better hide.
I like how he just yanks it out like no big deal. They're like, ah!
Really needs to be some strength training. Oh no.
Hands behind your
Gun.
head. Every time. Where's the stone, you American rat? You American rat.
What stone?
Have you ever heard of Höhenangst?
Höhenangst. Sorry, my German's coming out.
Yes.
I just grab onto him, taking you with me then,
this
buddy.
dreadful mountain, even if my mind was screaming every step of the way. Because of a concept you narrow-minded Americans will never understand. Devotion. Total and absolute devotion to the fatherland.
Not the motherland?
You
What?
have no purpose.
No, they're not Russian.
It's your stupid American cartoons. Choo choo, choo choo. You laugh and dance, celebrating your own idiocy and drinking the piss you call beer.
That's true.
I will walk through fire for the devoted men of the Reich. Give me that stone. Now!
Can't give you what I don't have.
I shall search your corpse to make sure.
Please wait.
Give me the stone.
Gina.
That was stupid. Like, you could have seen that coming a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
She has it in her hand with one behind her arm. Then she takes it, puts it behind her back, pulls out the other one, sticks it in your hand. You're like, you military guys could not see that coming.
Yeah, no. I see some Dial of Destiny stuff in here that I don't like exactly.
Saved by the Woman thing, you mean?
Yeah.
Indiana Jones being a little not intelligent?
Yeah.
No.
And of course, he couldn't break off the stone.
We gotta get out of here. He is too toxic.
He is. No, he doesn't have the masculine traits. Oh no.
Okay, that was
Wow.
what is this? Well, yeah, because when you do this, your accuracy's terrible.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be like a German
Professional
soldier, right? Professional.
Yeah. I mean, the Germans, man, they just had the worst they had the best soldiers in the world. They couldn't hit for nothing.
Exactly, like the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What I always loved about that trap is that you could have just gone underneath it; it would roll right past you.
Yeah, yeah, but maybe it would block the entrance.
Maybe.
Well, it's a boulder; you can just roll it because it's round. So.
Well, it's probably a really heavy one. Whew. Water went down the wrong pipe. But yeah, what'd you think?
Maybe. Could be interesting, but I don't have too much hope.
Yeah,
for
I'd have to
forsaken these lands.
Got trust to hope for this forsaking these lands. Yeah, I'd have to know that, despite the appearance, kind of like a House of the Dragon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we thought it was going to be a Rings of Power, but it turned out to be just actually a good rendition of the story or something. I'd have to know that because they haven't earned any goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to Tomb Raider, which Tomb Raider is giving up raiding tombs and is now being a benefactor for.
Yeah, that seems also very much bad.
But I don't know. I don't
so
know.
Yeah, Tomb Raider is essentially dead now.
Yep.
It's a shame.
Wu Chang. The Wu Chang
Chang.
clan.
You never know you are a monster until someone comes to slay you. The first signs are really subtle.
You could also
But
just
over
look into the mirror, I guess.
It becomes clear. The gift changes you, slowly consuming every little part of your humanity.
Well, nice try.
Please come again.
I should know. It runs in my blood.
Okay.
Honestly, it reminds me of Stellar Blade, but in China.
Yeah, it gave me a bit of Dark Souls vibes, but in
Plus,
China.
they're Stellar Blade, it's like Souls Blade, but it's female centered. I just Stellar Blade makes sense that it's a female character because all the soldiers are females.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing all these other games like Assassin's Creed Shadows, Wu Chang.
Well, in this case, she had
They're
some
all-
weird demon powers, so it makes
what?
sense again. She had some weird demon powers, so
Yeah, but it could be a dude. Like, why is this little tiny woman thinking she's going to take on giant monsters in the
well,
workout?
I don't know.
Again, it's more like the physicality aspect of it. The physicality throws everything off. Like, you have a man versus a woman. Both of them have equal supernatural powers, but one's just physically stronger.
Well,
Times.
but maybe it doesn't really matter if you have like supernatural powers.
Well, it depends on the super
It
strength.
depends on the type of the supernatural powers.
But even if there's a super strength, there are superheroes. There's a lot of superheroes with super strength, but they have a varying degree of super strength.
Mhm.
Like Spider-Man can hold like 500 tons. There's
Yeah,
other
true.
smaller Hulks that can't even do that. So it's like there's different level tiers of the power that one could afford to be
Mhm.
doing things. So it's like, okay, well, they said this character, but why did they say it? And don't get me wrong. I mean, I think she looks fine. I think
Yeah, looks fine.
she looks feminine. I'll give her that.
Mhm.
But
That's
again,
positive.
because the
But
days,
with like glowing red eyes, so
well, I mean, yes, but I'm saying like because the way the days have gone in terms of like we used to have nothing to worry about in the overarching gaming world.
Mhm.
Now we have everything to worry about. And we can't be sure that it's, a good thing. We can't be sure that we're not, being bamboozled or whatnot. And we can't be sure that it's not going to be trying to push some agenda. Now, odds are in this kind of a game, probably not. But you can never be sure. And that's the problem.
Mhm.
Now, this one is one that I've heard people be excited about, but also cautious. So we'll see how it works.
Come. Your emperor has chosen you as our envoy to the living lands. That wild frontier suffers from the dream scourge. Find the root of this terrible plague and put an end to it.
He is wrong. The dream scourge is but a symptom of a deeper, more dangerous rot. Go, tame the chaos that plagues the living lands, so that those who remain standing can
Was that an
share.
Asari?
Is what?
Was that an Asari? The purple glowing one?
No idea. I don't know what this is.
They both deceive you. There is more wonder in this world than eyes alone can see. You must open yourself to its mysteries. Tend to its purpose, no matter how wild. And become what the living lands truly needs. Its protector.
Avowed.
It just looks like a Elder Scrolls clone to me. Not a bad thing. Like that could be a very good thing. But that's what I'm gaining from it, I guess. Did you get that kind of feel?
A bit. Yeah. I thought Avowed was something.
It's also by Obsidian Entertainment, which I believe didn't they do Oblivion?
Obsidian.
Did they do Oblivion? They did Fallout New Vegas. I
think so.
They did do Fallout New Vegas.
Let's find out.
I want to say they did.
Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas, Grounded, Pillars of Eternity, Alpha Protocol, Tyranny, Dungeon Siege 3, Neverwinter Nights 2, Pentiment, Pathfinder Adventures, Armored Warfare, Skyforge, Avowed, and Wasteland 2.
So Fallout New Vegas is pretty well known as the best Fallout, which is a good thing.
Yeah, but no Elder Scrolls. Some vaguely related stuff, right? So Pathfinder is obviously a D&D.
Fallout's Elder Scrolls.
Neverwinter Nights is fantasy. Dungeon Siege.
It looks like it could be interesting. I don't know if there's any SBI type companies involved with this. If there is, that could be pretty bad. But if there's not, I hope Obsidian doesn't do that. But these days, you never know.
Product not yet
Woohoo! Professionalism.
rated.
Rebellion.
Emergency at Windscale Atom Plant. It's not emergency, but disaster.
Fallout clone.
Seems to be over.
In Germany? Maybe?
I don't know. That flashlight really didn't do anything.
That's kind of tricky.
Blood for the blood gods.
That's for the Skyrim.
I think it's like a Russian
bit of Metro in there as well.
Yeah.
Atom 4.
I would assume it's more of a Russia, but maybe it's Germany.
Well, they're basically next to each other, right?
Not really, but yeah. they haven't been since World War II.
Yeah, but this is in the past, so.
This is
back when Germany still included Prussia.
I don't know. I think this is post. The way they were wearing military gear didn't look like World War II. It looked like closer to the Cold War, but this is pre-Cold War by far.
Could be. I don't know. You would still have the Soviet Union nearby.
It looks interesting.
Could
I
be.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Fallout clone. That's what it is.
Yeah. Time will tell if it's better or not.
Yeah.
So
we have 2 more to go, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So let's do this, the one everyone's not been excited about, at least not me.
Good evening.
Okay.
The Soviet Union is no more. Despite a potential for instability and chaos, these events clearly serve our national interest.
Okay.
Free from the specter
Little
of global
Illuminati
conflict.
in the background. Colin Powell, George Bush. George H.
Today
Bush.
we celebrate the mystery of American renewal.
Something's going on. Something big.
I'm a fire starter. Terrific fire starter.
I figured if I stuck around hell long enough, I'd see the devil.
How's he look?
I'm a fire starter. Fire starter. The agency is compromised. We're being hunted from the inside. You're the fire starter. Twisted fire starter.
You don't have to trust me, Marshal. But it might be better if you do.
Hey! Something you should see. What the hell are we getting into? Don't trust anyone.
You broke into a CIA black site. Are you out of your mind?
Things got complicated.
May God continue to bless the United States of America.
Pre-order the Vault Edition and get the Hunters vs. Hunted Operator Pack, the Mastercraft Weapon Collection, the Season 1 Black Cell Bundle, and more.
You know what they're trying to sell. See, and this one actually looks not terribly bad in terms of like the story. I mean, I'm sure that
I mean, gameplay is just the same.
Call of Duty is literally the same copy paste over and over and over again. But, and I kind of like the main character. His name is Marshall, the black guy. Clean cut. He seems pretty straight and forward. You know, pretty blunt, like myself. But again, it's one of those things where, like, after we've had all these games and this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden now we have a person of color being the front. It's like, okay, how do I know he earned it? How do I know that this is a game that was naturally built this way, and then it wasn't artificially or pushed by some agenda or activists? Because I don't know. If it's not, then freaking all for it. I mean, I still probably wouldn't buy it because Call of Duty's been Call of Duty. It hasn't been good in a long time. And Black Ops were the ones I did like. I did like Black Ops. Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 were okay. Not so much 4. I didn't even know there was a 5, and apparently now there's a 6. Like, what they got to, like, was it exoskeletons or whatever? It got a little excessive. I'm like, I liked the fact that it wasn't futuristic. Same reason I like the Call of Duties that are World War IIs. I grew up on them. World War II is a fascinating time period. It is what it is, but I don't know. Something rubs me the wrong way about how Activision's playing this, and I feel like it's going to be a bait and switch. But I hope I'm wrong. I so hope I'm wrong. But the guy seems like a good actor. Seems like it could be an interesting story. I don't know what I'm supposed to expect out of it. I guess we will see. But yeah, what are your thoughts, if you have any?
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty. I only played the first one. And
the original?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I have that on CD still for my computer list.
I played back in middle school because it was on the computers there. So
you're making me feel old, dude. Oh man, it's a fun game.
It's also the same way I got introduced to Halo. There was Halo and Call of Duty 1 on the computers at school, and we did a bunch.
Halo 1 was on computer. I have that over there. I have the box and everything. That was a bit weird. It didn't come with a jewel case. It just came with a little sleeve that it was in. I still have it in impeccable condition.
And we played a bunch of it during classes, let's say, when we were supposed to do actually other stuff.
Oh, thanks. I imagine that.
Yep. Good old times.
I remember Medal of Honor being bigger than Call of Duty growing up. Medal of Honor was the bomb.
Could be.
And then at some point, Call of Duty just walked right by it, and Medal of Honor just sank like a stone, and they went the wrong direction ever since. Don't know why, don't know how. You could screw that up, but they did. They managed to pull it off. I mean, I remember Ghost Recon being kind of like iffy. I wasn't even sure if I really cared for it, but eh. All right, this is the one that everyone's been waiting for, so let's get this party started. You think our Tyrion and Gadfly will have a heart attack trying to like go into apoplexy, trying to say like that's not Middle Ages, that's not Dark Ages, that's not medieval.
Probably not. But yeah, what can I say? It's Doom.
In the Dark Ages, yes, not something I
Yeah.
would have expected. I honestly didn't care much for Doom Eternal or the Doom 2016 because like the play style, I was expecting it to be more intuitive, and it was very much, well, for lack of a better term, not intuitive. Unintuitive, I guess would be the word.
Yeah,
like
that
you don't really have a melee weapon, which you should always have a melee weapon. For one, that should be just the rule number one: is you just have a melee move. Usually, it's like a blade or a cudgel, a mace, or something. Even a shield bash, for crying out loud. You should always have a melee attack. I mean, freaking Master Chief just elbow you in the face. He'd at least have something. Nothing like that I can recall ever getting in Doom Eternal and stuff, and I was disappointed. I like the soundtrack. I don't care for the guy who made the soundtrack, but I don't care for the company who hired the soundtrack designer who didn't actually pay him. What they said he was going to pay him, and all just jacked up. Point being, I was hoping it would be more, I don't know, intuitive towards an actual normal shooter. Instead, it felt more like Unreal Tournament 3. But not as good as Unreal Tournament 3 in terms of like actually how guns function and mechanic, how shooting people works, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was a little depressing.
I mean, I saw a big Mac version, which
this one,
what do you want? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Dark Ages Knight, Black Knight mecha, I guess.
What more could you want?
That's the thing now, apparently.
Yeah, they
I mean,
totally did that in the Dark
I
Ages.
can want a lot of things, good sir. But yeah, I don't know.
But did we see everything?
That was all of them.
Okay.
I'm not blowing you away, but that was like 30 trailers, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So,
Honestly, I can barely remember anything.
that's the thing is like a lot of them, they're not easy to remember because, well, one, they're really short. Two, a lot of them didn't give you gameplay. A lot of them just cinematics.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the things where like we're looking at like, okay, well, it's a woman, it's a person of color, it's a this, that, it's a that. Like a lot of them just had so much DEI in it that it was distracting from the actual story. Oh, look, it's a disabled person who's also missing part of their or one of their eyes, and on top of that's a person of color. On top of that has short hair. On top of that is it's a woman that looked like a man, and then on top
That
of
was
that,
Warcraft.
no, that was Warcraft.
Are you sure? It's the fire dwarf and the armless blind black person.
That wasn't Warcraft, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was.
That was
But see, there were so many of them now. That's
yeah. I'm kind of at a loss to see. Let me see if I can pull it back up. I guess.
I'm pretty sure it's Warcraft.
Let me go back. I kind of lost track since they went out of order. That was pretty early on, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It might have been. I thought it was a different one. It wasn't Clair Obscure. It wasn't Fallout 76. Wasn't Starfield. Wasn't Dragon Age. Wasn't State of Decay. Wasn't Doom. Call of Duty.
I'm pretty sure it's Warcraft.
Wasn't South of Midnight. Wasn't Metal Gear Solid. Wasn't Become a Villain. Wasn't Flintlock. Wasn't Age of Mythology. Wasn't Perfect Dark. Wasn't Diablo 4. Wasn't Fable. Wasn't Fragpunk. Wasn't Winterborough. Wasn't Mixtape. Wasn't Flight Simulator. Wasn't ESO. Wasn't Life is Strange. Wasn't Mecha Break. Wasn't Indiana Jones. Wasn't Wu Chang. Wasn't Avowed. Wasn't Atomfall. Wasn't Assassin's Creed. Wasn't Stalker. Wasn't Gears of War. Yeah, I guess it was World of Warcraft. That's interesting. I don't recall that.
It's when she steps from the shadow into the light that comes from above after you see a fire-eye dwarf.
Yeah, pulling that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's odd, but whatever. Like they didn't even try to give. They didn't even try to give her like a prosthetic arm made out of wood and metal or something like magical.
Yeah.
They just like, yeah, go out and fight one-armed because reasons. I don't get it, but whatever. But that didn't work for Battlefield. What was it? Battlefield 5?
I think it might have been 5, yeah.
4 or 5. I don't remember which one it was. With the girl with the pink hair, the fake limb, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure World of Warcraft people probably won't care. It doesn't really affect me because I don't play World of Warcraft. I don't know, dude. It's one messed up scenario. But that's all I've got, good sir, unless you could think of something else.
Nope.
Apparently Sony had their showcase not too long ago. I do not know nor remember hearing about it, so it can't be that important or that impressive.
Mm-hmm.
There is a game that I... Oh, go ahead.
They don't really have any exclusives for...
yeah, probably don't have anything at all.
So, yeah, probably likely that there's not all that much interesting going on.
Yeah, the only game I can say right now that I'm like super stoked about, but I think it's already out, is Rise of the Ronin.
Don't know.
But I don't know how good it's going to be
I'm
either.
forward to exactly one game.
Do tell.
Oh yeah. Monster Hunter Wilds.
The what?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh. I still haven't played the Monster Hunter games yet. I have Rise and World.
I think Worlds is probably the better of the two.
And it has what is it?
Iceborne, yeah.
Iceborne with it or something like that.
Rise has Sunbreak.
Yeah. I got those two. So, I mean,
some characters are slightly annoying in Worlds, but
they're always annoying, dude. What are you
they're
talking
always, yeah.
They're always annoying.
But like this one's especially annoying.
Just kill them.
It's impossible.
False.
No, it's actually impossible.
Never possible when you have console commands. But PC superiority. But yeah, I think that's it. I can't think of anything that's really like popping out at me. I mean, Age of Mythology, I'm cautiously optimistic about because I like RTSs. I grew up on the first or the original and Age of Empires 2, more Age of Empires 2, but gosh. I mean, Stellar Blade's already out. Helldivers 2 is out. Ghost of Tsushima's already out. So the good games are out.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that's really coming out. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh,
I am looking forward to that. That does look fun.
Part
Part of me does wish that they had games like that were co-op.
Yeah, I can see that.
That would be fun. But unfortunately, because of the way the story is, that won't work. Although it would make sense for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or 3 or whatever, because you could have a squire, and that squire is your secondary person or something.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, all right, mount up, squire, we're going to battle, and then just do whatever. That could be fun. Or you could do missions kind of like Rainbow Six, where you go through the front door, your squire sneaks around through the window and climbs through, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That could be fun. But I maybe I just am wishing Bannerlord 2 to be finished, so I can play that again. I don't know. Have you played Bannerlord 2 yet? First?
No, I haven't.
It is fun. It's like big scale battles, but
I
from
heard
a third
very
person.
good things about it. Yeah, but
It can get wild, but the mods are actually pretty good. They have a Lord of the Rings mod, I believe. They've got whole fantasy mods. They've got the standard stuff with a couple quality of life stuff bounced up. They've got some pretty good stuff. You can basically start. You can found your own kingdom. You can marry into a kingdom. You can be raised as like a mercenary to a lord, and the lord to like upper nobility, and then be given the crown that way. Whatever. There's lots of ways to get it. The fun way is to do it yourself, but you gotta wait until you can take on an entire nation or all the nations, or just take out the rebels and take over their cities, and then as they branch off and break off more rebels, you pick off more of them, and then you just start from there. Albeit it is very difficult for that to be very profitable and whatnot, because you taking on a massive country is very difficult unless you just get really, really lucky, because they also have allies and stuff too. So, but it is a fun game. So, but anyway, guys, that's probably going to be it for the Xbox showcase. That was all 30 trailers. Let us know what you guys thought about them in the comments below. Like the video if you liked our conversations, or if you just enjoyed hanging out in the ambience. Share with somebody if you know they're interested in any of these types of things, and we can chat about them, whatever. Yeah, there's not a whole lot coming out this year that's going to be like blow your mind crazy, but there are potentially some that are really, really good. So if we hear any of them come out that are really, really good, or you guys want to know about one in particular, just let us know, and maybe we'll check it out before everybody else gets to jump on theirs, if you will. So, yeah. Thank you, Sage, for hanging out. I know this is not our normal recording day, and this is kind of a change of pace, but I do appreciate you coming on, because I was going to have to do this by myself, and that would not have been fun. So, yeah. Thank you, sir. I'm assuming you're not having anything come up as normal?
No, I don't have anything special.
We need to get you a YouTube channel.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. All right, good sir. We'll go ahead and call that a day. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Remember, my friends, walk in the light.
Farewell.